for example, yeah. I mean, if I've seen, some reports. If you check on my Discord, you will see that I have a few Dwallins do 110,000 damage. Hirgon is able to, in theory, put out similar damage to Dwallin. So.
All right, so do what you want with here, but you got a lot here that got to go in this.
Yeah, but I mean, what do you guys think? King of the Dead.
Not usable.
Sadly, right now, I agree. Yeah. Radagast is fine. Arwen seems pretty bad right now. Boromir. What do you guys think of Boromir?
No, trash.
Elmer's fine. Elrond is what? Ooh, Elrond.
Elrond is usable. He's usable. He's not trash. Eladon, Elrohir, Yusra,
Treebeard,
Kamul, Dooney, Treebeard. Oh my God, there's so many trash in here. There's a lot of trash.
All right, so we got a couple more to go. Sestaro is fine. Oglurg is fine. Adonai, you think she's
trash?
Not? She thinks
trash.
Really?
I dare you to use some damn Adonai against this meta, please. I dare you. Try her up.
Eladon and Elrohir, guys. What do you guys think?
Trash.
Kirun.
He not trash.
Usable.
Okay. Yeah, all right. Okay. We'll go in this in just a second. So, Black Serpent. I'm gonna read names, and if any of these are trash, you guys let me know. Okay. Black Serpent, the Shadow, Azog, Skelhelm, Mouth of Sauron, Azrukor, Exog, Sestaro, Oglurg, Glasha, Beruthiel, Gothmog, Kamul, Kirun. Okay. I'll put it there for now. Okay. Lurtz, Kurwan, Saruman, Sauron, Sunin, Undying, Witch King, Bard, Bjorn, Falcon, Frodo and Sam, Gandalf the Grey, Hirgon, Gandalf the White, Aragorn, King of Man, Radagast, Thorin, Aragorn II, Círdan, Dane, Dwalin, Elrond, Elmer, Galadriel, Gil-galad, Isildur, Gimli, Legolas, Theoden, Thranduil, Imrahil. Imrahil is bad.
Yeah,
all right,
bad.
So
I just want to say if we don't put Hirgon and Thranduil into the bad category, we definitely shouldn't put Cardoon there because Cardoon averages more damage than both of those guys.
They're all trash, all of them. There is no.
So we either put all of them into the trash or none of them. But...
all right. I'll let you guys lead on this one. Okay. So
isn't Thorin trash now too?
Sorry, Scar.
If you guys think that they're usable, then we should put them in the usable category and just call them bad side of usable.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between trash and usable.
Yeah. Okay. I think we can revisit this as we start talking about them as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of a thing that we're brainstorming together with the guys in the chat here. So
if they're in bad, we're not coming back though. So whoever is questionable, pull them out of bad.
Yeah. So I would pull Khaldun out of bad with Thranduil, and then just talk about them a bit when the time comes.
We can go over their skills and then we can talk about them. Perfect.
Oh yeah, Khaldun, he usable.
Okay.
Yeah. Khaldun is usable. I thought he was saying someone else. No, Khaldun usable, definitely.
All right, cool.
And Jack said that Thorin is trash, and I think everyone agrees. So
yeah, Thorin trash.
Put Thorin there. Yeah.
Yep. Thorin trash.
Okay. Oh jeez, that's.
Hirgon trash. Hirgon's trash, man. Nobody's building Hirgon out, dude.
All right.
All right.
I haven't seen any Lothars at all.
I think he's usable. He's not great, but he's usable. I've used him. He okay.
Okay.
Cat Lady? Is Cat Lady any good?
That is.
She is. I'm testing against some of the guys in lane right now, and L Dog has a. I mean, his is very high respect, but she's tanking like a beast.
I think Beruthiel is usable, definitely, because she got a little bit of a buff, right? Because of what happened. And it's I think it's the jury's out because we don't know, because she's got the same skill as Saruman now, basically, right? Which is the R0 top.
Is it?
The
Well,
damage received, like Sauron, you mean, right? Yeah.
Yeah, she got the same skill because they adjusted it, right? So I don't know. I don't think she trashed.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
damage received over 10 rounds can be really good in the fights. And
Yeah.
the other thing is, a lot of
Yeah.
people have started playing Swan Knights, so
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
get the extra plus 3%
Yes.
in a lot of the fights as well. So
Yeah.
I kind of like her. I don't think she's
Yeah.
that bad.
No, I think though she does look better on paper than actual result.
I
She's not
agree.
trash.
I agree.
She's
And
not trash.
Yep. What sucks about Baruthio, I was looking at how it scales her. It's that tree that you're talking about, Jackson. If I'm not mistaken, she's a tier 3 commander, and I think is it like 6%, and then it scales with command, or it's like 10% it scales with command, or something like that. And
Yeah.
but like with like 500 command, she was getting like an extra 2% of damage, which was kind of ridiculous for a tier 3. So we'll look it over in just a second, but she's definitely been tanking really well for L-Dog, by the way, in lane. All right. So we got the I mean Gothmog, I'd say probably usable.
Trash.
You think he's trash?
Trash. He trash, bro.
Okay.
He see don't. That's it. I'm sorry.
So what we have left here is Black Serpent, Shadow Azog, Skalhelm, Mount of Sauron.
Yeah, we see
Mount of Sauron, Azrukor, Axog, Sestaro, Ogler, Glasha, Baruthio, Kirun, Lothar, Lurtz, and the other 2 rows, which are pretty accurate. Now, do you guys think that Mount of Sauron is usable? At least?
I think it's trash.
Yeah.
Sadia would agree.
Usable in evil RP or evil versus evil RP. He usable. So I don't know what to say.
What sucks about it, the only scenario where I see his, I'll still crafting about him and also about Glasha. What sucks about him, he really only shines versus commanders that do a lot of normal attacks, like Shadow. If you put him and you're fighting a Shadow, you're gonna nerf Shadow like crazy.
Yeah.
But besides that, you Undying as well. But besides those 2, he's not gonna do anything versus other commanders because
just trash him. Trash him out.
It sucks, but Glasha has a better utility than he does, at least for now.
Yeah.
Sadly, I mean 1.0 Mount of Sauron was disgusting. And
Grima.
And Khaldun, and almost every commander that we have here. All right, so let's start with what we have on the list here. Let me pull up.
Let's do it.
Let me pull up the. So we got. Oh, actually, let me make this. I didn't notice, but let me just make this so you guys can see the top.
All right, so let's go in order and let's get this down now so we go through this fast.
Yeah.
Whatever order you want to make for us, let's do it, and then you just take the majority after we've all said what our rank is, and then slot them in. All right.
Yep. So let's start. Let's go top. Top left all the way down. Black Serpent. He's the first one.
Yeah, but you need to put us in order.
That's fine. We'll go. Yeah, we'll go through the order that's on Discord right here. So I'll read it out to you guys. So it's G Unit, Turgon. What's up, Fen? Welcome. Myself, I'll go last. Jack. So G Unit, Turgon, Fen, Jack, Scar. If Lost wants to say something, Lost, and then myself. So we'll go in that order. G Unit.
Okay, so you gotta direct us. You're the host.
That's
so
fine.
You gotta be like, say their name. Go. We got to do this fast.
So Maddox, what do you think?
Top of usable.
Top of usable. All right. Turgon. Same. Perfect.
You gotta get closer to your mic, bro.
They're in my ears.
Oh.
It's not good. Whatever it is. Who's next?
You.
Oh, I'm next.
Yep.
Usable.
All right. Perfect. Sorry, Fen. You gonna say something? All right.
Black Serpent.
Hello. You've unmuted yourself, Fen. But we can't hear you.
Yeah.
All right.
Adjust settings.
Yeah, maybe check your mic. What about you, Scar?
Black Serpent?
Yeah.
Is that what we're... I have no clue.
Mm-mm-mm.
Sorry.
You-
No good input for that one.
Seems usable.
Yeah, I would put him at usable for the simple. I mean, if you guys look at his skill now, his R5, I don't know if you noticed this, but when I think it's maxed out, it doesn't damage your allies anymore, just like it did in 1.0. So which
He
is
pulls around. He pulls around somewhere when he's all super geared out.
Yeah.
Optimized with Mama Kill. He'll pull you around 80 to 120,000 damage.
the issue.
And you're no longer hitting allies. I mean, that's
Exactly.
huge. That
Yeah.
was the only problem in the PBE was if you
Yeah.
played him with Muma kills, you still
Yeah.
strip the White Council too quickly.
Right.
And now,
Right.
I think he has. I will test it this season if I get the chance and if we have the resources.
Yep.
But
Yep.
I think he has the chance. Paired with the right commanders, he can dish out a decent amount of damage. I think.
Yep. Yeah. The
He
reason
can.
why. Go ahead, Jax.
No, he can. I agree. I tested him in PBE. He actually kind of sneaky because he gives you a buff to offset the debuff from Sauron
Yep.
and whatever that takes away your attack and stuff. He'll boost that back up, okay? And he'll get that even higher than what it should be normally. And then if you're doing it with Mama Kills, he'll get you damage as well. You don't have to do Mama Kills because the damn stamina, but he's sneaky.
Yeah, that is the reason why I put him right now at usable. And by the way, guys, we are going. This is a tier list based on like the recent updates, the testing we've been able to do. Okay, so probably in about a month or two, we're gonna come back and review the tier list and say, look, we've done a lot of testing on this and this commanders. We gotta move this guy here and here. So, okay. I agree with you, Jax. The reason why I'd say he is a usable right now is because of the whole Mumakil situation. If Mumakil moved like a regular unit and only took 20 stamina, I put him at closer to the top of good, because being able to tank with Mumakil or do some damage with Mumakil would be awesome and fun to play. But taking you 60 stamina to move once is ridiculous. So
It's basically armored Sauron. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah. Oh, exactly. So it's honestly stupid to run Black Serpent with Mumakil, because you're moving 3 times, 4 times a day. That's nah. It's definitely not fun. So sorry, 80. Sorry, yeah, not 60, 80 stamina. Thank you, Zodiac. So he's definitely usable right now. All right, guys. Next up is the bad boy in town, the Shadow. Okay. What G-Unit? Where would you put the Shadow?
Good.
You say good?
Yep.
All right. Turgon?
I'm gonna go bottom of the meta list because he does some hella damage right now.
Okay. All right. Finn?
Is it working?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Bottom meta, I agree. You could just clear White Council way too fast.
All right. So 2 for meta. Jax?
Yeah, meta. Not at the top, but meta.
Scar?
Yeah, I feel the same way. Bottom of meta.
Yeah. I'm seeing some nasty damage from the Shadow. Fighting invasion and fighting tank, Swan Knights. By the way, guys, if you guys have any questions related to, should you run Mountain Trolls or Swan Knights or Great Beasts as your tank? In the current meta, Shadow, if you're trying to protect the White Council on your units, if you're using Mountain Trolls or Great Beasts, your units still get the splash from the multiple normal attack hits from Shadow. Only Swan Knights protect your other units, from those hits. So if you don't want to get slaughtered by the Shadow hitting your other units, you use Swan Knights, okay? Little tip if you didn't know that. I would say as well, Shadow is just being nasty. I've been seeing 160,000 damage from some Shadows. That is disgusting. So you have to put him at meta. Maybe at the bottom, but still meta. And another thing about Shadow, the awesome thing about his R2 skill, gotta get used to saying R2, not R3, is if you're fighting a Sauron or a Witch King, they're gonna debuff you in pre-battle, right? So let's say you got 200 of attack on your Shadow. they're gonna nerf you down to 150. All right, 140. Like, man, that's nothing in damage. Yes, but his R2 skill triggers after that. So you can get debuffed down to 150, and his R2 skill maxed out gives you 80 of attack.
Damn.
So you can go from 150 to 230 even. So it's an easier free to play investment because you don't need the top, you don't need to get to 250 attack because he already is going to bring you back if you put those points into his R2 skill. So Shadow has an amazing kit right now, in my opinion.
It's an interesting debate with this commander, and the debate is, what's the better Shadow? The one that has all attack or the one that's a hybrid? So you guys in the chat, however many of you are in there, you put your votes in. What do you think is the best version of Shadow?
And yeah, when we say hybrid, is using the bottom R0 skill with the focus. Yep.
All right, let's go. What's the next one?
All right, somebody said I have a 275 attack Shadow right now, high as I can get on him. Is that is that just from stats, or is that also looking at after your fight starts? All right, this is. Go ahead.
Denshin from the the pirate crew, RP guys. He said Mewtwo, Numerang. I don't know how to say his name, but Mewtwo. He was testing a lot in PB. He's got a hybrid. It was doing really well.
Yeah, it's like Two Steps has a nasty one.
Yeah,
and he's running only Shadow as his pure damage dealer, and he's pulling 150, 160,000 damage. I mean, Tip just sent me a few reports here in the DM. I can show you guys later. Doing beautifully here. All right, so next up we have Azog. This might be a tough one to rank right now. We haven't done enough testing on him to give him. I mean, I haven't played him.
Hey,
so I don't know.
Spec Moon.
What's up, Spec Moon?
Is here.
Yeah, shout out to Spec Moon from Udes. That's nice.
Yeah. Good to see you, Spec Moon. That dude is, man, what a player. There is not one bad thing about Spec Moon. That dude does it all, and he does it well.
Yep. Yet we haven't talked about Scalm yet. So Azog, guys, what do you think? This is a commander that I think it's just kind of complicated to put in a tier list right now. You can look at the skills and say, in theory, no, this would work or this wouldn't work, but I feel like with the current meta, he's nothing special right now. What do you guys think? G-Unit?
I think just from a theory standpoint, he's either at the bottom of usable or he is bad.
Yeah, I wouldn't put him as trash just because there isn't enough testing on him, but wouldn't put him at good either. What about you, Turgon?
I would put him in the usable column until more testing is done, so we can kind of see which way the needle goes.
Yep. All right. What about you, Fen?
I think he's just not usable. He only really has one good tree from what I've seen so far.
All right. Jax?
I think he's usable.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but I think he's usable.
Scar?
I haven't really seen anything from him yet that's been remarkable. So I think unsure, I guess.
The reason why I would put him at usable right now is I feel evil, just like kind of like in 1.0. we have to play him with CC, and he has some skills that kind of buff that CC damage. So I can see him as probably as a tank and buffing other CC commanders, or whenever somebody has CC on them, it buffs that damage that they receive. So we'll put them at usable for now. Perfect. Ooh, this one is good. Scalhelm. Scalhelm had a huge place in the 2.0 meta. What do you guys think? Has she stayed at the top, kind of, or has she dropped? What do you think, G Unit?
I think Skyrim is great, and I would put her in meta.
All right, awesome. Lonely, participate that way. Lonely is not going to unmute his mic, but he's tagging me on Discord here, so I'll tell you his vote for Skyrim in just a second. So you think you put her at the meta, above or below
Yes.
Shadow?
Definitely above the Shadow.
Okay. What about you, Turgon?
Yeah, I agree. Just above the Shadow.
Perfect.
Meta.
Fen?
I think she's top of meta. She's one of my favorite commanders.
Whoa,
Alright.
whoa.
Okay. I mean, I'm seeing some really nice Z1, Z2 Scalhams competing with some of the big tests, big accounts I've been seeing tests on. So I see where Finn is going. Jax?
Yeah, same. I concur.
Beautiful. Scar?
I think it really depends on your respect. If you have her high zenith, then she's top of meta, and if you have her not the highest respect,
Yep.
then she's more bottom of meta.
Yeah. But that's the idea. The idea is telling people, like, we're not saying, like, good point that you said there. We're not saying guys at Z5 or at Z10. It's just talking about who is strongest in, like, just any time, So, like, showing maximum potential. Yes, most people are not going to get to that level. You only have a few players with the biggest accounts in the game, but you're just talking about, potential in terms of, at R10, for example, if any command has 3 damage skill trees, you can complete all of them at R10. And nowadays, it's much easier to get to that than it was, 6 months ago. So I like it. And
There is one downside, and that's that fucking unique that misses against Gil. It's very frustrating.
Yep. Against the current meta, definitely, but she still does pretty heavy damage with her skills, which it would put her at, above that for that reason. So perfect. And Lonely said she's meta, so we all agree that she's still part of the meta. Okay. Next up, the reason why I kept this is an interesting. I don't know if we're gonna move this him up or down, but he's been performing quite well for some people playing him. Is Azrukor. Okay, Azrukor is a troop damage commander, one of the only ones that we have in this list actually. What do you think, G Unit?
So, regardless of his kit, in my opinion, troop-based commanders are currently extremely hard to play. Just the current game mechanics make it impossible to get good results with troop-based commanders against strong players. But I know a lot of people are very enthusiastic about him, so I guess we can put him in usable.
Okay. What do you think, Turgon?
I think there's definitely some distinctions between the NRP and the RP community here regarding him. I've seen, like, when 2.0 dropped, I was on an RP server and I saw a bunch of people using him and he seemed decent. But since joining up with Yudes and playing NRP, I haven't really seen him used much and used effectively much. So I'm inclined once again to agree with Maddox and just kind of put him in the usable category for now.
Perfect. Finn?
We're being generous is like the very, very bottom of usable, if anything.
Okay. I'm excited to hear the next one. Jax uses him in one of his formations. Where would you put him?
Well, it's still, the reality is troop damage is lacking, and it still has not been adjusted. The community as a whole and the game as a whole would very much benefit from more adjustments being made so that troop damage commanders and troops, their uniqueness, their damage overall needs to be buffed. We would very much appreciate that happening so we can use these guys and they can kind of compete with damage dealers, because it just makes the game better in all ways. It gives it diversity, which you desperately need in a strategy game, a constant evolution of diversity in strategy. So I think he's usable. I think can be good. I mean, I can, depending if I'm not hitting straight meta optimized, Bane, Gandalf the White Swan, Bjorn, he can get somewhere between 80 and 120,000 when I use him damage, if it's not against exact optimized meta.
Yep.
And he kind of, as far as an idea of what you would want in a troop damage commander, he kind of has it all. He really does in his kit. He kind of has it all. There's no really bad skills. He gives you a damage buff. He gives you a heal, a good heal. I mean, a reliable 15 to 20,000 heal. You know, he gives you, you know, follow up more damage on top of it, follow up damage. So he's kind of like, if he works in troop damage commanders and troop damage worked, and he would be something else. But right now he's usable.
All right. It's kind of, yeah. I agree. True base is still kind of, you know, kind of down, but I think out of all of them right now, Azrakor will be the one that's usable. At least his kit is somewhat optimized for what he's supposed to do, which is nice. It's not like, you know, you have Thorin with 2 damage skills and then 2 troop buffing skills. It makes no sense. Not for how we have to, you know, operate our gear. At least, I mean, you got follow up on him, which is nice, you know, which helps you if you're running ranged units, helps you clean a little bit of that white council, right? If you're running ranged, that's what I run with him anyways. So I think he's definitely in the usable, but like you said earlier, Jax, it's damage. The troop is just it's just bad right now, bad in general. Okay. Scar, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Jack's convinced me.
All right.
Put him in the usable, but really needs some troop changes to move anywhere.
Oh, jeez. Yep. Perfect. And Lonely said bottom of usable. Okay, so we'll keep him here for now. I do think with the current meta, possibly Azog has a little bit more of a role. We'll look into his kit a little bit later. All right, next up is one of the only, if not the only, commanders with 4 damage skills. The king of the T1s, Agzok. Let's start off with G Unit again. G Unit.
Yeah, so Axok is interesting. I personally have not done a lot of testing with him. I've seen some people who say that his damage is not that great. It's mainly the problem he has is that the percentage damage he deals is not as high as it probably should be. But I would say, without having tested it myself, he probably belongs in the good category.
All right. Turgon.
I don't like going behind Maddox because he says everything that I want to say. Yeah, I agree once again. I mean, I haven't tested him myself, but I have seen some reports around Yudes where some people have tested him, and he looks like he does enough damage to warrant being in the good category. A little bit better than usable, but definitely not meta.
Yeah, that sounds pretty on point.
So what he just said reminds me of that god awful fucking 8-hour tier list we did with what was it? It was like 10 people, bro, and it took like 8 hours. It was retarded.
Each side we did twice.
Yeah, who was it that said that? It was what's his name? Damn, dude, I forget his name.
Roran?
But he said the same exact thing. No, it was the leader. He was the leader for a while of Bane and all those teams were on.
Got it.
Starts with a S. Stunna.
Oh yeah.
He's like, I don't like going after me or whoever it was, and he was.
Yeah, he just said, "I'll pass. I'll pass."
He's like, you keep doing this. You keep doing this to me. You keep putting me behind him. Every time we do this shit, I'm not taking it no more. It was hilarious.
We'll swap you guys. We'll have one go. You know, we'll swap it out.
Just go snake order. Just go top to bottom, bottom to top.
Yeah, dude, I like that. All right, Fen, what do you think?
I think he's usable. I'd ask Dark. He's the one that has them all wailed out right now, playing with him.
Okay. Jax?
Yeah, same.
Okay. And Scar?
I don't know who we're talking about.
Agzok.
The one that only fights on stone tiles?
Yes, that one, exactly.
Well, I know in the spirit of Randy, since I miss him so much, he is meta. He's the best commander in the game. Fight me on a stone tile. But in the spirit of me, he's in my siege march, so I don't know.
Oh, geez. All right. I mean, depending what your account, yeah, he's definitely gonna be in that rank. He's in mine too. So, but so I think we got most answers in usable. Now, question is, if he can pump out 115,000 in damage, would you consider that to be just usable or good?
Is he consistently pumping out 115, you said?
Yeah, I mean, a few reports sent to me. I mean, it also depends who you're using in your setup, right? If you're using Axog with three other damage dealers, most likely he's gonna get the lower rank, the lower part, because his damage is lower. The percentage that he puts out is lower than everybody else, most likely. But I've seen a few reports of him doing 110, 105 to 115 damage. So most of you guys, and Lonely also put, oh yeah, Lonely used to be called Dark and now Lonely, not Lost. So usable, that's fine. All right, top of usable for now. Next up, guys, we got Sestaro. We'll go from bottom to up this time. Lonely, if you want to put your position in Sestaro, we'll let Scar go first now. Wow.
I've seen him be used, and I don't know the damage output, so I think he's usable. I don't know if he's good.
Okay. Lonely put him at usable. Wow. All right, Jax, what do you think?
Good.
Good, okay. Finn?
I think, like, towards the top of usable, he can put some serious damage output and can clear white council pretty well as well.
Okay. Turgon?
Saying Sestaro, I was gonna say good. I've seen some reports of him doing 120 to 130k.
Mm-hmm. Same here. So, okay, good. And you, G-Unit?
He stacks nicely with Gorthar. He removes the White Council pretty consistently. I mean, he has the initiative problem. He already had that before, but I think he's at the bottom of good.
Yeah. I would put him at good as well. I'm seeing quite a few Sestaros in multiple setups being able to, in the formation that they are using, to equal out on some of the meta formations as well. So I think I'd say he's a good. And we had at least 3 votes for good, so we'll keep him at good for now. Probably most likely towards the bottom of good, but definitely in that rank for sure. All right, Oglurg is the next one. We'll go G-Unit this time.
Oglurg?
Oglurg, yeah.
I think he's bad, to be honest, but I guess we settled that he's not bad, so I would put him in usable.
Okay. Turgon?
We saw Oglurg. I don't really know him too well, so I'm gonna just say usable.
Okay. Crazy. I mean, should have brought Ammonite just to speak on him, because he's one of the few players that I know have wailed out on Oglurg. But Fen?
We're talking about the big fat orc.
The
right?
big fat orc with the crazy axe, yeah.
That's in no one's formation besides maybe 2 people's.
Yep.
The trash tier.
Trash, okay. Jax.
He's usable. He's usable.
Okay. I mean, I can see him being a pretty decent tank. Has a little bit of bleed, and I was looking at his kit the other day. I was looking, maybe there's something that we can do with him here. That's what sucks. We need players that have those commanders at higher respect with the right gear to test for us. Say like, yeah, he's actually okay to use. He can do this. For example, Baruthio. I know most people say she's trash because her kit doesn't seem to synergize too well. But fighting versus L Dog, there was a few fights where he was fighting the evil meta and he was winning the trade. And also versus some of the good side meta as well and winning that trade. So you need those people to test those things. I definitely say I agree with you guys. Scar, do you have experience with him? Where would you put him?
No, I've never seen anybody touch him before.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
interesting.
Yep. Amana, I think he's one of the ones that I know for sure still runs him, or at least he was still running him. I agree though. I put him at usable, and Lonely also said usable. Now the question is, left or right? Above Black Serpent, below Black Serpent, above Azog? Where? Or does it matter? We can just put him here and that doesn't really matter.
I'd say bottom.
Okay.
That's just-
I mean-
I'm just curious for the people who like think he is usable. Like, what does he do exactly?
Anybody want to go first?
Listen, I put him in trash tier. I was the only one.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
I've played him with troops and I've played him with commander damage at the Zenith level and he did nothing. Like, I don't know.
Oh, really? You've
Maybe
been
I played
testing him?
wrong, but yeah.
All right, let's have a look in his kit really quick then. Really, really, really quick. So we got him over here. You got his top R0. It boosts damage 20% with the command, goes up some HP when you max it out at 10. Axe Overlord, he does damage. Grant's command, he does bleed damage. And at his R4, for the first 6 rounds, he gets crazy high unit defense. BN said I've seen him with Troz as a tank. So, you guys, looking at all these skills, you guys still think he's usable?
I just think he's trash, to be honest, but...
So we got 2 trash now. Fen and G Unit. Jax? Where did Jax go? All right. Lonely also agreed. Let's move him down to trash. Whew, that kind of hurts. We got multiple voices here in the trash tier. Here we go. Perfect. Next up, let's go on this one. Let's go kind of quick. I don't think there's a whole lot to talk about. You got Glasha. G Unit, what do you think?
So I'm not an evil RP player, so I'll just try to keep this short. In NRP, I think she has very little use, but in RP, I've heard she can be used in some formations, so we can just put her at usable.
Perfect. What about you, Fen?
Very bottom of usable.
Okay. In one of the reason why she was even put here in not put into trash is because of the current damage dealing meta, right? She has the bottom R0, can remove some of the attack on the enemy formations. She also, if you're fighting, if you're lucky enough to be fighting a Shadow and a Dane, for example, in the same formation, you're nerfing Dane and Shadow here from the attack, but also then nerfing his normal attacks in the first 5 rounds. By I don't know what the scale is exactly with high command, but it could be around 60-70%. I'm not sure. Gotta look into that later. Right. So she has some utility. I would agree. Where would you put her, Scar and Lonely?
I don't know, trash to usable, I guess.
Okay. What about you, Lonely?
RP
I'm late.
servers.
What's up, Harb?
Hi, Harp.
Per usual. Dude, traffic's a shit show today.
Like that. So we're doing a tier list, Harb, and we're talking currently about Glasha. And what are our tiers again?
Let's see. Let me remove this really quick. We got meta, good, usable, and then just bad. Bad.
Okay.
To keep things simple, we set it up this way. So
That's fair.
okay. Because now you can get into too many levels and could get a little bit complicated. So let's put her down as at the bottom of usable for now. Okay, perfect. Next up.
C-Tip wants to know if he can join the VC.
Sure. Let me put him in. Give me a second here.
That's a bad decision.
I agree. I don't know why Scar invited him.
You think he's gonna behave?
That's a very loaded question.
It's C-Tip. What do you think?
He will behave.
All right, it's okay. Well, I can C-Tip. We'll put you up, man. But if you misbehave, we're gonna have to boot you. So let's see, where is Tip?
The only reason he wanted to join was because Harb joined.
Question is he in my Discord?
Hello, I already got it. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, you're good. There you go.
Where? Oh, okay, C is in. All right. Tip, unmute yourself. Make yourself known.
This is gonna be fun. Showing that he's here.
How you doing?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I think everybody's excited to see you in here.
Yes, I'm the number one diplomatic representative of Emor.
Sweet. All right, cool. What do you think really quick of Glass Shell, so we can move to the next one?
I think I'm going to agree with Unit here. I think NRP absolute unusable trash, but I think in some RP applications, evil on evil could be useful.
So she can be okay. She can be pretty good then.
Yeah, I would say usable tier just for RP applications, which in my opinion don't matter, but sure.
All right, perfect, cool. Yeah, I know some commenters have more usability in certain types of campaigns, but it's kind of hard to say only RP here or there. So I agree with you. So usable, I think, is a good place for her. She doesn't have a whole lot besides that going on, so I think she's definitely usable. Perfect. Let me just see here really quick. Jax, you back up? All right, cool. Jax is back up. Sweet. Jax, really quick, what's your vote on Glasha?
Usable.
Perfect. And then Turgon also put a usable. Perfect. Moving along, we got Lady Belruthio. Let's go top to bottom again. G unit.
So Beruthiel has a damage received title that lasts for 10 rounds. She also adds some slight extra utility versus man. A lot of people are playing Swan Knights now, just because of the way that 2.5 evolved the troops. I would just put her at usable for now.
Perfect. Okay. What do you think, Fen? Mouse is going crazy. Cat lady. Yep.
These aces guys are so funny when they go. They're just like, they can't be bothered.
The very bottom of usable.
All right. Okay.
I'm just saying that for Scar because she wants me to make a cat lady build work.
Well, there are a few of them working. I can send you guys later in my Discord some of the images from that. It's actually working decently well. So, all right. What about you, Tip? See?
He's shy.
All right, Jax.
Well, outside of maybe lonely, the shy stuff probably won't get it for this tier list. We talking about Cat Lady? She's definitely usable.
Okay,
I think there's something there. She has the same skill as Sauron, basically. She has some synergy. Oh, he already said this, but synergy with, men and evil men. And I think she's usable. Maybe like a budget Sauron type, maybe. I don't know. Definitely can find something. But as far as really competing, no.
Okay. I mean, you can make her work in similar scenarios, but she's definitely not at the same level. I agree. Lonely said not usable. Scar?
I always thought she was not usable. You guys are now giving me hope, so she's going usable.
No, she's definitely usable. Like I said,
Doing it.
Yeah, I'll try to put some stuff here while we are.
Is she Zenith dependent, or
What do you mean?
think
Yeah.
can be lower
yeah.
tier?
No, you need a little bit of respect, I think.
I think a little bit, but not too much. And here's the reason: utility commanders don't need, you don't need the extra damage you get from raising them in command in respect level. So that's the funny thing, damage dealers, you get them to Z, their damage goes up. Support commanders, healers, if you get them to Z, different stats should be going up, not the same ones as the damage dealer. For example, Gil Galad, right? He I don't like him running this way, but some people run him as a troop buffer, right? When he gets to R9, his units do 15% more damage. But that 15% damage boost for units is useless on a Dane. So they should have done, I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. Depending on the respect level, you get different boosts, right? And so for the different types of commanders, they should have worked better and on what stat or what thing they're going to boost, not all the same. It's just weird how they're doing it. So because of that, I would say she doesn't need crazy high respect. Maybe, I honestly don't think you need that high respect either. Maybe R5 to complete 2.5 trees would be enough. Obviously, if you're gonna fight against a Z5 Sauron, then you're definitely gonna be outweighing yourself there. But
hey, well, I mean, there's one I do kind of think she can fit. I think right now, kind of with Undying being so prevalent in team comps, just to kind of supplement the evasion, I do think if you wanted to use Barathuriel as a B team, kind of like a budget Sauron, with Gandalf the Grey kind of being usable right now, you could do Gandalf the Grey, Barathuriel, and then maybe like Sauron Beorn. And it's pretty similar, probably just like a budget version of Gandalf the White Sauron. So for that, and you could argue she's in good tier. I think she's better than some of the other usable comps we have in here. The only thing is she does kind of have a useless relic. So
Yep, exactly. I agree with you.
Hey, calling out a couple people in chat here.
Go ahead.
Spec Moon. If you can hear me, it's Jax. You got a mic, you can jump in the chat with us. You got to join the Discord and all that. But also, I want to know, who is this guy here? His name is Go Jags. All right. He talked about Azrakor, and he talked about something else, Khaldun, I think. Go Jags, speak up in chat, bro. Are you talking about my Jaguars, Jacksonville? If you are, we fast friends.
Oh, also something, fellow. I think we should be adjusting Kiragon here. I don't think the trash tier.
That's what I'm saying. But this is a community, tier list.
So throw him in usable then. Who cares?
All right. So before we keep going, guys, we got 95 people watching and only like 2 people. No, we got now almost 9 people. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Come on. And then like the video, all right? All right, let's keep going here. Next up, I do agree. She is a budget version of Sauron. The thing that sucks is her unique and the fact that she's a tier 3. It makes no sense to have her have that kit but not be as strong as Sauron, for example, and have made her into a tier 3. She should have either been boosted or made a T2. Because her skills aren't as powerful as Sauron's level.
I think she has the lowest base stats of any T3. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that, but I wouldn't be surprised. All right, next up, this guy hurts me to even talk about him because he had so much potential, and in 2.5 they brought him down even more, in my opinion. We got Kirun. Let's go.
Right.
Let's go. Oh, we got Dark Nimbus in the house now. Najay. What's up, Najay? Yo, you gonna leave me hanging like that, huh? All right, that's fine. That's fine. All right, G Unit, go. Kirun, you got a pretty well dialed Kirun. So what do you say about him?
Does he?
I can't talk bad about my Kirun, so I'll give it a pass on this one and let the others play.
You know what that means, right? You by passing it up indirectly, you know what you're telling us.
Where's this Kirun? I ain't seen this Kirun on the battlefield. Bring that sucker
but
out
that explains why you haven't seen his silence His passing on
Exactly.
Kirun and not seeing him in the battlefield just tells you everything you need to know about where his place in Kirun.
I saw some new commanders. He brought out I think a B or a C team earlier today. We was fighting a little, and I saw some new commanders from him. I was impressed.
That's
It's
good.
nuts. Oh my lord. All right, so we got next up. We got Fen. You wanna say something about Kirun?
I also have a super high level Kyrian, so I'm going to pass this on to somebody else.
All
What
right.
is this? What is
Jeez.
he doing? What is happening right now? Am I in the Twilight Zone? What is happening? This is a tier list.
As
We
the
can't
proud-
pass. We
As a
cannot
proud
pass.
owner of the Zenith Kirin, I
People
feel
are
hard
listening
about
to
you.
us, and they want to know what we think. We can't pass.
Well,
What are we doing?
they're clearly
I mean,
telling us what they think of him.
What we're saying is that what tier we're putting him in, we just don't want to say it.
I nuked my Karoon with the vouchers at the start of 2.0, so I can speak the truth if no one else wants to.
All right, go
I got
ahead.
it,
Go
I got
ahead, Harbing.
What's the bottom tier again? Just go ahead and put him there.
You know what? It sucks to do this, but this is a commander that was not supposed to be where he is, and I agree. His kit makes no sense. You got damage boosting on his R4. You got damage ridiculous, stupid top R0. It makes no sense what they've done with his top R0.
Man, I swear, what a fall from glory.
Well, there
I'm
is one
telling you.
useful.
The worst part about it is that the damage boost is also mainly for a T4 that in a real fight's not necessarily going to be sustainable. to
Exactly.
produce.
Exactly. I mean, it's a minor boost, but yes.
And then, like in previous iterations of the game, when you did have T4 mobs for conversion in King of Men, for say, right? It was a lot more plausible to keep them stocked specifically for that cause.
Yeah.
However, after mobs are nerfed, the fact that, T4s, when people can mass produce Guardians or something that a much lower cost of both time and resources, are just not particularly what they once were.
Yep, I agree. Sucks to say this, but Kirun has dropped, like Jack said, his fall from glory has been ridiculous.
Man, I'll tell you what pissed me off. I'll tell you a couple stories right now. What pissed me off was my boy Rune class, whatever.
Oh yes, Jax. Wow.
He was the world's biggest Karun fan. Sorry, Scar. He was the world's biggest Karun fan, and for many, many seasons, the dude would be with Karun as his main guy and just hold his own against anything and everything, taking all comers and doing great. And when Karun got nerfed so badly, he just eventually, after much trying, many attempts to make him good, he quit the game.
He quit the game. Yep.
That's how much he loved Karun. Quit the game.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Shout out to him. Pour one out for him.
Shout out to Ran class, who then changed him to Rune class. Yep, I remember that guy. Yeah, and he was also a very he contributed to a lot to the community at the time. So shout out to him.
Yeah, and then another story I'll tell you. When I was a youngster, I think it was in 6th grade. I passed this girl, like I forget her name, a note, right? And she never passed me nothing back and never said nothing to me. And we lived out in the country in these times, and there was nobody around. 10 miles to the nearest store type of deal. Walk 2 miles barefoot in the snow to get to the school bus. You know, all that old stuff.
Yeah.
And there was this farmhouse across from us, and this old man used to come out every day, and he'd sit on his rocking chair out there and look at his cows or whatever. And he'd be out there every day just rocking on his rocking chair. And I'd go over and talk to him, you know, once in a while. And I went over and I told him this story. I was like, look, I passed this girl out like a note. She didn't say nothing back to me. And I don't know what's going on. He said, he looked around, paused, looked around. He said, in life, sometimes a lack of an answer is an answer.
Exactly.
So to those people that are passing the voting up, that's what I'll say.
Exactly. I mean, that's exactly what I was saying earlier. Their silence, their passing, and it says it all.
Well, I mean, I do offer one kind of counterpoint. So again, anything that's not Dane is utter trash. But in a B team or a C team application here, we have to think he does have a round 3 and 6 madness.
Stop. Just stop.
He does have a
Stop.
3 and 6
Stop.
madness,
Stop. No.
and he does have.
No.
Yeah, I
Fun
can't wait for Scar.
Mute him.
He can Madden Bjorn in round 4, bro. 33%
Yes, but
chance.
listen.
Let's go.
Let's
That's
go.
awesome.
Let's go.
I can't wait. Scar over there in the background, just fuming right now. I love it.
He is the proud leader of my B team and will forever be. So
He
whatever.
can kill A teams for sure, especially if you're fighting like an RP clan like Panda or Axe that use a lot of Bayorns. You can definitely reduce that R4 or that round 4 with the top R0 for sure.
You know what? He's gonna do fantastic in the server we're in right now. So eat it.
So all I heard was Scar. I need to really log in and update your B team, huh?
Get away. Get away.
All right, Nick.
I'll only say trash. So this
Beautiful.
but
Yeah.
this hurts to see a T3 that had a pretty decent kit. Even after his nerf, he was still okay at trash. This is ridiculous.
It is.
But let's move on for the sake of none of us crying here, because I think inside all of us want to. Lothar, we kept Lothar in. What do you guys have to say about Lothar? NJ, if we can hear you.
Utter
Trash.
All right, well, okay, all right, let's move in there.
Actually, Lothar at some point did get a major nerf in one of those updates.
Mm-hmm.
After the original PvE, Lothar's R4 ability now, I believe, had the ability to increase 2 formations damage. But then they changed it to formations unit. And I mean,
Yeah.
anything without, honestly, with the most recent update, now 4 trees that are quasi useful, at least 3 good trees, is not a viable option.
All right. Oh my lord, Lonely just said Lothar is below trash. We gotta create a new one. Gotta create a new tier here just for Lonely to put things below stuff.
Well, I mean, you can put Karun down there too, honestly. Don't make him lonely.
Oh man, this is sad.
Can we mute hard, please?
Oh, Kirun being this low just hurts. It's like why do the devs hate Kirun so much? What did they do? What did he do to them? You know? Oh man. All right,
Well,
next.
Remember the meta where Kieran in 1.0 with the big hammer?
Oh,
It was
remember those days? Oh,
That was that was when he was OP.
yo.
I
You
don't-
had to have a
remember he got, like,
protection
Was
that
46.
make him
I
Witch
do-
King proof.
I do think Karun is usable. I don't think he's trash. That's my vote. I do think he has.
Trash if you're
Take
fighting
him out
Panda.
of trash and put him in usable before I cry. I will cry on stream.
Yeah, I think he is usable.
Too many have put him into trash.
Yeah.
We'll put him at top of trash for now.
There you go. There you
he's
go.
the,
Top
he's
of that.
he's the king of the trash.
There you go. There you go. That's something.
Panda
Oh.
is cute. So
Something.
This honestly hurts, seeing people putting so much money into Kieran to now see him do so little. I mean, I'd love to revisit this and say, look, we actually found a few ways to build him where he then does really, really well. I'd love to see that. And I'm testing things here and there, but the issue is right now, his R5, which it feels to me R5's R4 skill should be the most powerful, because you gotta, you unlock something, you work towards that. His kit doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because he at top R0 turns him into support for damage reduction. Bottom R0 and R2 are CC, which I would love. I actually been loving playing. I texted Jax today saying Evil's much funner to play than Good Side, because you're not just going putting damage dealers and you go. There are different ways of playing the CC and things like this that make it fun to test, but his CC is just so random and so weak that it just makes him. It's just a weak kit. They gotta improve his kit a little bit, and I think he would be.
There's another huge problem with his CC, and that's that the stun chance, for example. I mean, apart from the fact that it's extremely low, it conflicts with the Gilgalad stun. It conflicts with the Sauron stun. So it's just completely unplayable. Like I don't know why they didn't change anything about that.
It is surprising.
Yeah.
I agree. All right, guys. Next up, we got Lurtz. Let's go bottom to top. Lonely. let you text your answer. Scar, Wild Lonely is texting. What do you think of Lurtz? Where do we put him?
I mean, from what I know about him, I think that he is usable to good. I don't think that he's meta, but I don't feel strongly enough about it to know more.
Okay, that is very interesting considering that most people, when we talk about evil side, the reason take this into consideration. Although we're making a tier list for kind of both sides for RP or kind of everything. Consider we might rank him a little bit higher considering that he's the only T2 along with Shadow that have good damage output when you're fighting versus good side in an RP server. So
yeah.
So that's one thing I would keep in mind. Jax, where would you put him?
Would say
go ahead, Scar. Finish.
If you're saying you want to do a T2, I would go for Shadow first. But I mean, like, I say this, but I use Lurtz in my B team as well. So
perfect.
I think that he's good, but he's not like meta, I would say.
Perfect. Okay. Jax?
Well, if you have his relic and you put some effort into it, I think he's definitely good.
Perfect. I agree. So Harb?
I mean, I think he suffers from not having a third damage tree.
Yeah.
I think his relic is good and kind of quasi makes up for that, but I would take Saruman over Lurtz any day of the week. Relic has the same effect. Saruman now has 3 damage trees, deals a lot more instances of damage.
Yep.
I mean, I definitely would put him below Gimli, below Legolas, below Dane. I put him probably slightly below Shadow.
Above Sestaro?
So wherever that lands him. I think him and Sestaro are probably very similar. Sestaro has the 3 damage trees.
Mm-hmm.
It's just Sestaro's damage is delivered kind of differently than Lurtz's being that direct physical.
True.
However, with that being said, Lurtz being a T2 is cheaper, and both of them do need investment into the relic to be fully viable.
Yeah, that is true. That is why Shadow becomes a very, very, very valuable and jumps up in the meta because he has 3 damage skills, although one is focus and whatnot. But then his relic, you don't really need his relic to boost his damage.
Well, and the other kicker for Shadow is even though his R3 is no longer R2, I think now it's not a damage a pure damage tree, right? Yeah. You're able to put at a high level and level 50 and at a high zenith level Shadow, you can put 5 points or 3 points into his R3, and I mean if you're talking 8 stacks of 3 attack or 8 stacks of 4 attack, I mean you're talking 20, 30 extra attack, which at the end of the day is a decent boost to the rest of the kit.
Yep. That's good point. I like that. All right, Tip.
Yeah, come back to me real quick, sir.
No worries. Fen.
I mean, I think he's top of usable, but probably meta if you're doing role play, because like you said, he's one of the few without focus for evil that can do damage.
Yep. Okay. Good point here. The reason why I think we can keep him, I just don't think he's below good, because when you're gonna look, even if you remove, right, if you just look at the top 4 commanders right now, Scalham, the Shadow, Sestaro, and Lurtz, if you're an RP player, you're still gonna look who is at the top of meta. So let's say right now, if I was an RP player, if we finish the tier list right now, I'd say I'm gonna choose, if I'm playing RP, I'm choosing Scalham and the Shadow because they are the 2 top meta commanders. They're gonna be good in RP and great in NRP for this case, right? So Shadow is gonna be better than Lurtz both in RP and NRP. So people can get they can get a gist of who to choose if they're gonna choose to invest in any others. Good point. G Unit.
I initially had Lurtz in usable a couple of weeks ago, but since then I've looked at some reports and it seems that even though he only has 2 damage dealing titles, both of these titles are pretty good. So
I think B13 gave you a nice report earlier, didn't he?
Yeah. and also a bunch of other players like Vesi and some others. And I
Yeah.
think he's very very comfortable in the good category. Yeah.
Perfect. And you, AJ, you have an input on Lurtz?
Yeah, he's surprised actually, I guess. Like everyone thought after this update, 2 damage skills won't be good anymore. Lutz is, I think, one of the few that actually goes against this rule.
Yep.
And I think most of this has to do with his R2, which just puts out insane damage by itself.
Yep.
I mean, we already know that from 1.0 as well. I do think, though, he is, since the update, very required to use his relic now. The relic is the one thing that actually pushes him to good. Otherwise, he would just be usable.
Yeah.
So, for those who want to use him, you do need to invest into the relic.
Yeah. Good point. Good. I like that.
I
Thank
agree.
you. I'll put him at good right there because I do agree that he sits pretty nice at the good rank. Kurwan is a player a commander most people don't use. If you got anybody that has experience with him, give your opinion, or else we'll just kind of move along. Anyone's played with him?
Played against him a lot.
You what?
I've played against him a lot,
How
and
did-
usually it's the enemy getting completely wiped with less than 100 HP in my army.
Okay.
This is why I said we shouldn't let Tip in here, just for the record.
No, I do think he might be at the bottom, but I do think Kurwan is usable. He has his complete kit is about debuffing, right? So his bottom R0 increases the damage the enemy receives. His R4 decreases defense from the enemy units or the enemy. His R2, I can't remember now, but it's something really. It decreases the attack on the units on formation. So I do think he has a usable utility. I would make him a tank, just kind of like Baruthio, and then use him as like a mini version of Baruthio or Sauron, where he's debuffing and doing a little bit of damage stuff on him. But I put him down at probably at the very low of usable, right now at least. I don't think he's completely bad, just because the debuffs, if you're can work really well if you do build them properly or your formation properly. What do you think, Jax?
I think he's usable. That's it.
Okay, perfect. Anyone else want to pitch in on Kurwan?
I could just say, so I think we still don't have enough data for Koran yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
People don't play him, and we don't,
Yeah.
and we still need to understand how he works. I think ever since they buffed him, so his usability just got
Yeah.
totally great. Like he can be used anywhere now. He's not a counter of something specific anymore.
Yep.
So now with that, people should maybe try and see if they can put him somewhere. He needs to be in a formation which itself does a lot of damage because he has nothing. And
Exactly.
he has nothing that buffs its damage. He's just there to reduce it. Now we also have the formation, which is the CC formation, which is just to completely block enemy damage. Maybe you can put him into this because he fits into this
Yep.
kind of play style.
I've been
But like I said,
testing him.
little data, I'd say low usable as well because
Yeah.
we don't know.
Yeah. I've been testing him as a tank, and he's been doing okay. So that's why I think he's definitely at the usable spot for now. All right, we got next up. We got the possibility, the new king of the White Council counter. We got Saruman. Let's start with you, Najay, and then we'll move down the list. What do you think of Saruman? Where would you put him?
Meta. He's completely up there with Dane. Like he's above Skullhelm in any way.
Okay, that's just wrong.
He does because he fits into any formation. Skullhelm does not fit into any formation because Skullhelm has one big problem which I don't really like that much, is that it ignores White Council, which means it doesn't remove stacks of White Council, which means all the other team players have to fight against White Council stacks more than if a Shadow or if a Saruman hit it. It goes, so he doesn't really complement the team. So Skullhelm does do damage amazingly, and well, of course, against evasion, the relic is almost useless. But against White Council, she does the damage, but she has no complement to the team, which I feel like it works really well. Maybe with a Shadow, someone who can clear the White Council really well. But Saruman clears White Council, and he has some good damage output because of his third skill now as well.
Mm-hmm.
And the relic. He's got everything. He's got amazing CC as well in there.
True.
He's up there.
Perfect.
And
Okay, so you put
I
him
say
at
way
top
above
meta.
Scal.
All right, let's see
Yes.
where
All right.
everybody else puts him so we can give an
So,
average.
you know,
out.
the Kanye West, Taylor Swift thing? Skullhelm's still the best. Better than Saruman.
All right, G Unit, what do you think?
Do you just want me to talk about Saruman or address what Nature said as well, or?
Whatever you want. Just if you can be brief, go ahead.
I'll just stick to Saruman. I think Saruman is really good, and he definitely belongs in the meta tier. The one big issue that I have with him, and I tested him in a bunch of different compositions, is that he only deals like really good damage, which is comparable to the other meta damage dealers, if his unit is a counter to the enemy unit. Otherwise, especially with a lot of guilds running around, the head of the White Council hits nothing for the first few rounds, right? The CC, he does have some CC, but it's in round 2 and 4, which is not that amazing. I do believe you can tweak him a bit with initiative and agility, but I just wanted to say in terms of raw damage output, I don't see him like on par with the Dane, for example. But in terms of what he provides for the team, he's definitely a meta commander, yeah.
Very good point. I agree. I've been testing a very high Zenith Saruman, and I'm not seeing him do more than 130,000 damage.
Yeah, exactly,
305
yeah.
focus, full relic.
Well,
So
yeah.
I get your point. All right. So
well,
I mean, I would
see-
put Saruman meta,
or-
just not above the skull.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Harb.
So-
So, I would make a couple arguments here. I would definitely rank him meta. I would argue that he has crowd control. However, the madness is not actually as good as you think it's going to be due to his initiative. However, I also saw Lonely pop out 150k earlier with Saruman, and that's a lot of that he can do depending on what he hits. Because if you do put him beside a Dane, you're obviously going to suppress his damage because Dane does so much damage. I think the White Council clearing's a great benefit. I'm going to bypass the whole Skullhelm because obviously I'm biased here, but I do think he's definitely a meta commander.
Okay. Tip and then Jax.
So I'll speak two parts of this. I think meta for sure. I think that we need to kind of compartmentalize roles here, and I think that Saruman fits the role of White Council clearer to a T. I think that I would take a Saruman over a Shadow, especially when the enemies use Swan.
Mm-hmm.
However, you could argue Shadow's better without, or when the enemy's not using Swans. I wish I would. But I think that the benefit here with Saruman as a White Council clearer is the initiative stat being so low that often Gilgalad is going to be getting evasion into round 3. You don't have to worry about that here with Saruman. You're going to be hitting your round 3 R0 skill. So I just don't think it replaces Dane. I don't think it replaces Scowl. I think it pairs very well with Scowl. It pairs very well with Beorn because you're not trying to achieve 200,000 damage. And I do think you have the benefit of being able to run a command helm as opposed to a wizard's hat. So overall meta, definitely not above Scowl though.
Okay. Jax?
I don't
Go ahead.
Quick question real quick for Tip, but personally, I don't think that there is a commander that I would take above Saruman in Evil RP. He would definitely be top tier in my main formation if I'm Evil RP.
I think for 99.9% of the players, yes.
So even over
0.01,
Skellheim in this case.
Again, 99.9%.
I would, well, I mean, if it's Evil RP, I would probably have him and Skullhelm in the same formation.
Okay. But would you say Skellheim is still better, in your opinion, better than him even in RP?
100%.
Okay.
And
So
I can explain why. There are numerous reasons why, especially in RP.
Yeah, I would also probably agree with that, just due to the likelihood of running into a Gil White Council combo.
Yeah, I would say the benefit Scal's gonna have here is doing damage when she's dead, which is huge. I realize that. Second thing, especially in RP, say you're RP evil to evil, I would take Scalhelm here because you have so many enemy commanders who will be fighting, running Nazguls and round 1 stuns. If Scalhelm does get stunned in the first round or even the second round, especially if you're fighting and then dying, you have the potential, especially when paired with another clear such as Shadow or Sauron, to where her relic could be hitting in round 3 and not hitting an undying evasion stack, which is something that is just, in my opinion, extremely valuable. So even in RP applications, I'm taking a Scal, but it's very high investment. I think Saruman can do well at R10 with a plain relic. So
Okay.
I was gonna say that's also an important point here. Skullhelm needs a lot of investment to actually be good.
Yep.
With little investment, Saruman is almost good from the get-go.
It just
Like,
it
he
does
doesn't
sound that
even-
Saruman has a tip on Scalham from everything you guys are mentioning.
Well, yeah, it's the respect level is a huge thing. Like I don't think Saruman needs very. I mean, Z1 is always great because you get that damage boost, but he doesn't need it to be already decent. Like to be meta, he can be R10.
He's
like
more
you said,
he's more
he can be
accessible,
more
is
than
what
R10.
we're saying. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
He's a
fair.
lot
I
easier to
mean-
use. So in that way, for any normal player, Saruman's definitely the way to go. Don't go for
I would-
Skullhelm if you
And
can't
with
afford.
the Ascension reset vouchers, you can also easily get items for him. So he's definitely more accessible than the Skullhelm for most players. Yeah.
Okay.
I would say now, though, with the extra 11 points, it's not as much as a respect barrier on Scalhelm as it was prior. It's more of a, she has very specific gear needs that if you're not able to meet, she's not a viable commander.
Yep. Okay. All right. Jax, what do you think?
Yeah, meta. I don't know exactly where, but meta.
Okay. Scar.
I was just thinking, I hope you don't call me because I have no clue what you're talking about.
You don't know.
Again with this.
you-
Again.
You don't know Saruman.
I
Oh,
love it.
Saruman. We're still on Saruman? I'm
Oh
sorry,
yeah,
it's been
these
like
guys
3
have been
minutes.
going on and on. So,
Yeah, he's
where
meta.
would you put him so we can
Put him
move?
in the meta. Put him in the meta.
Is he
and
better
move
than
on.
Scalham in your opinion?
No.
All
Yeah,
right.
we need a drink.
All right.
We need a drink.
I
Or
think we
need
have
a-
just the Aces people are all on the same train here. It's not fair.
They're too
we-
biased.
we need a drink for this show, Scar.
All right, next up, we got Sauron. I think everybody knows, Sauron's one of the most played commanders right here. I think we can all just take a vote where he sits. Let's go Scar first.
Meta. I don't know if he is above Scalhelm though. I'm not sure.
Okay. So I'll put him here for now while we're taking the vote. Jax, where do you think he sits?
Yeah, right now probably top of meta for this
Okay.
list.
Harb?
Third best commander in the game, not even close.
Third. Okay. Not top then. Okay. Tip?
I'm gonna say he's the best commander of the game if Scal doesn't exist. So number 2.
Okay, number 2. Fen?
Yeah, number 3 or 2 or 3, definitely those two.
G-Unit?
Sauron is meta. I'm not sure if a comparison between DD commanders and support commanders makes a lot of sense in this case, but he's just top of the metal,
Okay.
so somewhere there.
NJ?
Yeah, I would say also. I think more important than Skal. Like the thing is, Sauron, try and replace him. The thing
Exactly.
is, he has things that no other commander can really do,
Yep.
and he just had so much of it. And I mean, the thing is, his whole kit is usable, and his whole kit is just annoying to deal with.
Yep.
And he counters specific things as well, because now this round 1 madness is in most cases useless. But if anyone had incursion, like Legolas for instance, you can actually ruin that with a Sauron, which is stupid. But yeah, he's
Bjorn
just a
also
very-
has incursion.
Who?
You'll get Bjorn's as well. Bjorn's
Yep.
R5.
Yeah. So basically, he basically can be painful for anything.
Yep.
So he really works against anything. That's why I think he's better than Skullhound.
Yep. That is how I approach this. In this case, everybody is running Sauron because his utility is just so crucial. Not saying that he's better than Skullhound, but Sauron, if you're looking at this tier list right now, you look, who's the number one commander I want to make sure I do have in my setup, and Sauron is always going to be one of them, right?
Yep.
I mean, also Sauron's good at R4.
Exactly.
Right? Like,
he's good anytime. Exactly. So that's why I would say he is the top of meta, because for that reason alone, right? So
you have someone I would rank higher than him.
okay. We haven't listed yet, right? That's okay. We'll get to that. I think we can all agree that's why I set him there, because everybody's running him. For example, if the meta was Witch Kings right now, back in 1.0, Gandalf the Grey was just, he was at the very, very top because he explicitly countered that dude really well for the good side. So I feel that
if we're getting away with the Skullhelm cope, I'm definitely saying he's best commander in the game. I'm going to disagree with Harb. I think his issues necessitates so many things, from gear, from respect choices, from commander choice, thinking R5, thinking done, the 2 rounds done, thinking the madness. I think the only drawback he has is Relic is completely useless. The only thing it's doing is offering potential, 6 to 150 more command.
Yeah.
But apart from that, the Relic just does nothing. So I think it's his only drawback.
Yeah.
Until you see the 120 that I have, Tip.
Nice. All right, guys. Next up here, we got Sunind. Not a commander. People are crazily, after. What do you guys think? Where does she sit? Let's start at the top this time. Let's be brief as we can. I know, I'd love to sit here for hours just kind of talking about commanders, but we have about 20 minutes to try to conclude this part, and so let's try to get through these as quick as we can.
That's not happening. There's no way you're getting through the rest of these.
I think we can. I think we can get to them. Yeah. All right, guys. Sunind.
One spot above Karun.
One spot above Karun. Below Karun.
Yeah.
Jeez. All right.
Yeah.
Anybody has anything extra to say about her?
Nope. Next.
All right. The Undying. This is a commander that has kind of gone up in the meta recently.
I'm gonna hot take. Ever since they fixed his evasion, I'm going with meta.
Below Shadow? Above Shadow?
Above Shadow.
Above Shadow by far.
Okay. All right.
I don't know what the current list is, but I'd say he's probably like number 7 for rank of commanders in the game.
All right. And the nice thing is that he has some nice damage as well if you don't want to go for the healing. So he has the evasion plus damage that he can do, which is very nice. Perfect. What do you think, Tip?
The upper half of meta. I think he's better than Gil by a lot.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
Meta. Yeah.
Better than Gil. That is interesting.
Yeah,
he does more. He does more.
Which is true. I agree. The only thing that sucks when it comes to that is that his is instance, right? Because it becomes an RNG thing when it comes to the evasion, right? But the nice thing is when it hits the right place, you can have your commanders, like your damage dealer is still at round 5 with evasion, round 6 with evasion, which is kind of crazy. I've tested it and I saw that myself. So, Jax, where you put him?
Meta.
Perfect. Scar. She's gone.
Yep, I agree.
Perfect. Anybody else want to pitch in? If not, we will move on to the next one.
Just one quick note about the Undying. I agree, he is meta. An interesting interaction that I see in some of my fights, so I use him in the B team. Dane has anti-heal, and this anti-heal prevents the Undying from healing one of the formations in round 5. And this happens a lot, which makes the healing title very, very rough, because you lose about, like, I don't know, 15k to 10k healing. Like, that's pretty bad for 30 skill points, right? So, yeah.
Perfect.
Just wanted to note that.
Thank you. That's something I haven't tested, so it's good to know. I've been playing him mostly with the evasion and the damage instead of the healing, so it's been been quite nice. All right, guys. Next up, go ahead.
Say a point as well. I think to be honest, like for me, Undying should even be above Skullhelm. Now the only reason this is because
No,
it is no, it is the meta. The meta is evasion plus White Council. That's the meta. So
20
he is
minutes,
actually
my
part of that
ass.
meta.
Jackson.
But he is part of that meta. It's the thing. It's the one part which is the meta at the moment, and that's evasion. And there's only 2 commanders that actually give this. So why shouldn't he be at almost
Oh.
a top?
Why are my skulls beating all
Technically,
the
there's
middle
3.
then?
Okay.
What's the
Yeah,
reason
technically
why?
there could be
The
more.
reason why I'm a little hesitant to put him be above Saruman is because Saruman completely destroys his evasion. Right? Because it's instance based. He's hitting every round multiple times, multiple targets. That will clean his evasion by round 2. You know? So
Depends if it's RP or NRP, though, right? Like, if we're talking RP, I wouldn't run a formation without Undying, because that's essentially the evil side version of White Council now.
yeah, exactly.
Now that counterattacks no longer trigger the evasion, and it actually is able to play out where prior it was not. It's now a lot better than it has been previously.
Yep, definitely. Okay, we can keep him here because he is more utility than a damage dealer. Like again, the same principle with Sauron. You're not gonna say, am I gonna use Saruman or Sauron? You know, they're 2 different roles. So just for sake of brevity here, we'll keep him here for now, just so we can get going. Next up, Witch King. Where would you put? Let's start with. And just for now, just put your rank, and we can comment at the end of putting him in the place. Nay, where would you put the Witch King?
I think Witch King can be usable. He has. Okay, if we take in the bug, then he would be good because that glitch is just dumb. Like the thing is, he can just wreck people at the moment,
Yeah.
and you can just put fireworks or something on him to even go through the evasion and then still wreck people.
Yeah.
So, why not?
Okay.
But let's say the glitch gets fixed. I'd still say he's usable because he has the utility which
Yep.
you can use.
I agree. G Unit. Where would you put
I
him?
have a Zenith 17 Witch King, and he's bad. So I would put him in bad.
All right. Fen.
Usable.
Okay.
I got Zenith 3. Oh, go ahead.
No, go
I
ahead,
got a
Harb.
Z.
Harvey or a
Yeah,
robot.
split.
You're
You're in a swimming pool, dog. You're in a submarine. We can't hear you. Next.
Usable.
All right.
Next.
Go ahead, Harb. You're all muted.
Next.
Tip.
Next.
Harb.
Usable.
Okay. Harb, you gonna mention something? He's
Next.
Usable. That's it.
all right. Jax,
And
you.
next.
Even with the bug, he's only usable.
Jax, you.
Next. Usable. Top of usable. Next.
Okay. Scar.
Usable.
All right, that's nasty to see him there. All right, next up, we got Bard. Where are we going with this?
Usable.
Usable.
All right, who else?
Usable.
Everybody, jeez.
Trash.
Usable.
No idea.
All right, let's put him right here because I think he's probably better than Black Serpent at the moment.
He's not better than Hirgon. Hirgon better be above him.
Oh my god.
Dude, Zenith 10, Hirgon. Zenith 10.
Who has Zenith 10 here gone?
I saw some reports of Uberlicious playing Bard in his first army, and I have to say he did pretty well. I would put him like at the top of usable or at the bottom of good. He does decent damage.
Okay.
Agree.
Okay. Who has a Zenith 10 here gone here?
Bro, we can't go back. Come on, man. We got to.
What about you, Scar? Where would you put him?
I don't know.
All right,
Yeah.
so we'll keep him where he is then. Bjorn, has he stayed at the top of meta or in the meta,
Absolutely.
or has he dropped?
I put him under Undying.
He's still meta, but he dropped off hard.
Meta.
I would almost say it depends. I think rather top of good in a way because Bjorn has trouble. He needs this White Council clearer who can go through the evade. Otherwise, he really struggles. Like the round 4, his big nuke almost always hits White Council now, and that drops his
Then
damage.
you're not
completely.
structuring your army correctly if that happens. That's all I will say about that.
Okay.
Bjorn is fantastic. Like he does way more damage than Dane in all of my reports. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen that happen quite often
There's
too. But that, I mean, Nate has a point. You know, maybe we got to look at how we're structuring our formations to why is it that Bjorn is always hitting, you know, White Council on his big nuke. It's a good point for you. We can talk about that.
Yeah,
in-
he's only usable with Saruman. That's legitimately the only pairing in which he is actually usable.
His madness and stun immune from round 5 to 10 in a meta where everyone plays Sauron. Like that's so valuable. The Dane in round 6 and 9, he can totally destroy your own army or get stunned for 2 rounds, which makes him almost like do less than 100k damage sometimes. Like,
Okay.
that's something very important to consider about Bjorn, and people just don't talk about it at all.
Perfect. Okay. All right.
Maybe also consider that the Saurons now aren't very fast anymore, which is often that the Bjorn's faster. So now the Sauron round 3 stun can hit the Bjorn, and the Bjorn can nuke his own team.
Yeah. That's
Which
always
goes-
been.
Which goes back to structuring the army, right?
Yeah. All right.
Well, you can't structure against that if they have a slow Sauron.
Because in the pre-battle phase, if you play the faster Sauron, you have a massive advantage for the entirety of the fight.
Okay. Jax, where would you put him?
Meta.
Perfect. Harb? I think
Probably one under Undying because Undying can ruin his day.
Yep. Okay. Perfect. Scar, I assume you're gonna put him at meta, right?
Ditto.
Perfect. All right, guys. Next up, Falcon. Let's start with Harb this time. Harb, where would you put Falcon in the current meta?
Where's Gandalf the Grey?
We haven't done him yet.
Wherever Gandalf the Grey goes is where Falcon should be.
Okay. And where would you? Okay. We'll talk. All right. Jax, where would you put
Probably
Falcon?
usable.
Usable.
What are we talking about?
Falcon.
Falcon, good. Falcon, good.
All right. What about you, Tip?
I hate midgets, but I'm going with
Good. All right. G Unit.
I forgot that good was a category, so move me to good also.
All
Sorry
right.
about
Cool.
that.
Cool. G Unit. Good.
Yep.
All right. NAJ in 3 words or less.
Good.
Good. Perfect. Cool. I mean, me being a Falcon main, I struggle with some of the meta formations now because of the multiple hits of Saruman.
Oh, like Scalhelm, got it.
Oh, and Skyhelm, yeah. So it's been more of a struggle than it was the season before. So I feel you, and I still want to test. I do think he might be a little bit higher than this. Definitely not meta. Maybe somewhere towards the top of the meta, but I'll keep him here for now. Perfect. All right, Frodo and Sam, guys. In 3 words or less. Start with NAJ. Where would he sit?
I think now they drop to bad. Just I'm not seeing their worth that much. There are better choices. Maybe around top of bad again. They could be usable, but they're really just now with the new meta and stuff. They're just not doing well anymore.
What do you guys think? You think he's that low? G Unit.
I think they are bad. Yeah, sadly.
Okay. Finn.
I'd say more bottom of usable.
Okay. Tip.
If we're ignoring like army composition and troop type here, I'd say bottom of good. I think that they're the worst tank option.
Okay. Harb.
Worst option. Interesting.
Harb.
Bottom of good, top of usable. I mean, not great, not awful. I've seen worse.
Okay. Jax.
Good.
Perfect. And Scar.
Usable.
Okay. I still think he's usable, especially in the new meta, because you might want to, having running Swan Knights, for example, or he's gonna suffer either way. But it's still in his role as a tank. I don't think he's dropped off that much. You're gonna use the evasion, but in Uber Elf, who's a player in our team, he's been running Frodo and Sam this season still, and he's still doing quite well. Obviously, he's a much bigger player than most of us, but it's still doing well.
He said his Frodo and Sam has never died.
Yep, this season.
No, never.
Yep.
You can fight us.
Yep. We'll see, but I don't think he's as bad. The nice thing about this tier list that you guys are giving, though, is gonna give people, it's gonna make them think, really, no way Frodo and Sam is this bad. They're gonna test it, bring reports into the community, and we can fact check our own opinions, right? So it's gonna be nice. I actually like this, that you guys are giving different opinions to what for some of these, from what I think. All right. So, but I do think he's still a good commander to be running. Like I said, maybe he's not gonna be in your A team. But, I think he fits very well into your B team. I do think. Pairing him with, for example, Gandalf the Grey and then 2 damage dealers, I still think you can hit up some really nice formations with that formation. Perfect. All right, guys, next up is...
a great troop transporter.
That's true. Perfect.
I would probably take Undyne over Frodo and B team and do Undyne, Bjorn.
Of course.
Shadow or Saruman.
Yeah.
And Grey, but yeah.
Yeah, but that's the nice thing about it, right? You can have, if you're looking at who is your main guy, boom, got your Gil. Second guy, boom, Undying. But that's nice for for NRP. But if you're an RP player, probably your Gil is your first choice, and then who is your second, right? You can say, well, it might be Gandalf the Grey, but in the tank role, Frodo and Sam is still the best tank in the game. He just like Jack said, he just doesn't die. So is that role as important as it used to be? We're still to test. We're still in the early stages of 2.5 essentially. So we still have a little bit of a test to go. All right, guys. Next up is Gandalf the Grey. Where does Gandalf the Grey, in 2 words or less, Jax, for you?
Good.
Okay, perfect. Scar.
Good.
Perfect. Harb.
Same.
Tip.
His relic's OP, yeah.
Yep, I agree. A very nice relic there. Finn.
Shout out Tip. Good.
Perfect. G Unit.
Good.
And NAJ.
Bottom of meta.
Ooh, that is interesting. Bottom of meta. That is interesting.
He could live there.
I don't hate that.
Don't
All right.
disagree at all.
All
Especially
right.
The relic
The
is
only reason is because the meta is White Council, and he's the only other White Council character out there, and he can. He has no more problems with his speed, really. So why not?
All right.
He has almost everything
Only put him
White has.
because White's better, but yeah.
All right, that's not a bad place.
He's automatic B team.
Yeah, exactly. It puts him at the, that I actually like this. First time in a while I've seen people rank him at, even though it's bottom, being in the meta, which is nice. Perfect.
The only reason I wouldn't put him in meta is I would legitimately take a R2 Gandalf the White when I have a stun and White Council over Gandalf the Grey at Zenith 10.
Oh, I know,
Yeah,
but I'm assuming that
definitely.
Gandalf the White is still going to rank higher than him anyways, right? Who is our next commander? Where would you guys put Gandalf the White?
Meta.
Best commander in the game.
Yes.
Okay, give me a second. My computer.
Top of meta.
Ooh, above
It's sad.
Sauron,
That
baby.
Must be basically a must-have to compete in the meta right now.
Perfect.
He is the reason why we just don't have anything other than this stale ass meta.
Yes.
Yep.
That is
Agreed.
true, Jackson. I think we can all
There's
agree.
not a-
Anybody is against him being at the top of meta. I think
I
no.
will disagree.
Why,
Scout is
Tip?
better.
Oh, all right. That makes sense, Tip. All right, guys. Next up, Radagast. I mean, I don't think we need to really speak about him. He is kind of, because he's healing multiple instances in the beginning of the fight. It can kind of serve as like a budget version of in a way of a White Council, right? Because you're getting hit and you're basically trying to make that HP back. all I see from him essentially is his healing kit, the cleanse possibility from his R2. The damage from his top R0 is basically useless because you're not going to run any damage skills on him. You can hit twice, potentially hit twice on a formation, kind of helping with the White Council thing, but that's essentially almost every other commander as well. Where would you guys sit Radagast, starting with Najay? 1 or 2 words, please.
I think he can be usable, but not very high usable. Like the thing is, you can use him. He works. Yeah, he's really one of the last options of those early supports, like trying to be like White Council.
I have a hot take on this one. I would put him above Frodo and Sam.
Okay, no, I'm not against that. Okay.
Yeah, I agree with
When
that.
you asked me who I would put, you said Gil, you said someone else, and then you're like, who would you put after that? Radagast would actually be my answer. You can run 700 command on him. It'll benefit the healing. You can, while putting 700 command on him, run up probably 60 to 80 focus additional on him, which again is going to benefit the healing. And then you have a tank that does more than just tank. He'll benefit the formation with healing and cleanse.
That makes sense. I mean, if you're running Great Beasts with his unique, then the healing just increases, right? In this case, which is
for NRP only, yeah.
Yeah. True. Perfect. Okay. Jax, where would you
Also
put him?
great for,
Go ahead, Finn.
farming.
Usable.
Yep. Well, just usable, Jax. Interesting. Whew.
Just usable.
All right. G Unit.
Usable.
Ooh, guys, we have a dilemma here. So we have one. You got Harb saying good, and everybody else saying usable.
Well, I also thought Frodo and Sam should probably be a little bit lower, so
Okay.
I would put them both in usable, but I would just say above Frodo and Sam.
Okay. Okay, let's just put him kind of somewhere here in the middle for now. Next up, we got Aragorn 2. All right, I think we don't really need to be talking much about him. Has 2 damage skill trees, lower damage output than King of Men, and then basically nothing else.
You missed it. He's stun immune. I put him higher than King of Men.
Okay. We'll talk about King of Men in just a second as well. Where would you put him, Harb, in this ranking here?
I'm trying to think of who would be comparable to him. I would put him near Lurtz. 2 damage trees and then stun immunity means he's a lot more valuable because everyone's been overlooking the stun immunity on him.
Okay. What about you, Finn?
I think he's lower than Lurtz.
Lower than
Same
Lurtz.
category.
Okay, perfect. So, that's where I put him for now. G Unit.
Bad.
Say bad.
Yeah.
But the issue, this is the issue, because your account is so big. Anybody besides your 2 formations are essentially bad compared to them.
I tried the Aragon 2 a bit in the PBE, and it's just the stats. His stats are so low. Like you need to have him at Zenith to get any use out of him. Like if he gets hit by the Sauron Deceiver, his titles are just not doing damage. Sorry, not the Deceiver, the R4.
So we got Jax here saying usable. We got G-Unit saying usable. So let me hear really quick from Tip and from Najay then. All right, guys.
For me, also usable, I would say. He's, again, the problem with 2 damage trees. Yes, he might be stun immune, but the thing is he still won't have a lot of damage output.
Okay.
And he's a T2 with less damage than the T3 version. I'm not sure if the stun immune really gives him that much of an edge in the end.
Okay. Tip? Tip. All right.
Next.
All right. So let's go. So let's put him somewhere around here for now. Then doesn't really matter in this position because we're not comparing Baruthio to Aragorn. We got more votes for usable than good, so we'll keep him here. Next up, Kirdan. Jack, start with you.
Usable.
Usable. All right. Harb.
Sorry, same.
Okay. Tip, Finn.
I think he's a usable tank.
Okay. G Unit.
Yep, agree.
Perfect. NJ.
I actually think he's good, and this is from my last season when I've played alongside Bear, and it was, I think, Arrow 4-4 who used him instead of what was it again? Not sure. Don't think he was using White Council in there either. He was using Sidon and something else, and it was impressive. Like Sidon has quite a nice kit actually. His R4 can even completely counter, if you're lucky, the evasion meta.
Mm-hmm.
His R4 can also do other things. It's RNG, of course,
Yeah.
but it can be really good. And he's got cleanse, and he's got good heal, and he's actually a really good tank as well. He's
Yeah.
basically like Radagast, just better.
Yep. I would agree so as well. He at
So
least
for
he
me,
has another
that's
tree that
good.
does more than what Gradagast's other trees do for us. So I put him at least above
Also, his
Gradagast.
relic is very good.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
Like he needs a bit of higher respect, definitely, but he's very usable. And
Yep.
is a slept on.
Definitely.
I think. Quite slept
I
on.
agree. All right, guys. Next up, Dane. Where does he sit in the meta? We don't even question. Where does he go? Where does he sit in the meta? Above Skelhelm, below Saruman. Jax, where would you say?
Above Scouthound.
Someone mute Tip.
I'm definitely putting him below Undying.
I could not.
Somebody
I'm
did.
sorry. That would never work.
Chip hates Dane right now.
So bad. Dane is horrible. I hate Dane.
I
mean, if you hate him, that means something. Harb, where would you put him?
I would go Gandalf the White. I would go Dane. I would go Sauron, and then I would go Scouthelm for my top 4.
All right, so Dane above Sauron.
Yeah, I'm
Interesting.
blocking him. I'm blocking it.
I'm leaving your team.
The account stayed with me too.
You agree with that? Dane second, Finn.
I think Dane more of a third, but
Okay.
top of meta.
Okay, perfect. I mean, the 4 positions can be a little bit switched, right? So that's fine. G Unit.
Agree.
Perfect. NJ, you agree? Disagree? Yes or no?
Yep. Dane,
Perfect.
Definitely there.
Okay.
He's probably the most usable commander here.
Yeah. Now, guys, really quick. We know Dwalin does a little bit of damage. Where would you sit him? Would you sit him in usable or
Trash.
in good?
Trash.
Trash.
Nah, no way Dwalin is trash.
Put him in the bottom tier.
You know, just for you, barely usable.
Okay,
Yeah,
barely
all right.
usable is better than what you guys are trying to
Fine.
put. He's definitely not bad.
He's usable.
He's
With a
usable.
cleanse, they still, I mean, it's
Exactly. You got to
You're just
cleanse.
saying that because you keep trying to use Khaldun still.
Exactly.
I think it's probably good tier.
All right. Elrond, where do we sit? Elrond's an interesting character. I mean, I don't know if he's not bad right now because he's just his his kid is just weird. If he's usable, like where would you guys sit him at?
I wouldn't invest in him. So I'm putting him at the bottom of
Okay.
the bottom.
Bottom of the bottom, okay.
Listen here, Dan.
What are we
Jax,
talking about?
we're talking about Elrond. Jax, you got something for us?
Usable.
Okay. Anybody else? G Unit?
Either bottom of usable or bad.
Okay, well, let's put him at the very
He's
bottom
bad.
because I just think he.
I agree.
I mean, if we're saying Kieran is bad, I think Aaron right now is kind of on the same boat, honestly. You know.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So I mean, let's. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna put a top of bad, but I just think, I just can't. He has a damage relic, and then everything else is scattered all over the place. So for a
Yeah, the
tier
relic
3,
is it's one thing I keep thinking, why? Like they changed the top R0 and then they leave the relic.
yeah, it's just.
Like, huh?
I don't think they thought it through. Honestly, they were just looking at skills and not the relics, and so that's why. All right, we got a few more to go. Elmer, guys, where would you sit Elmer? Elmer. Anybody?
Bottom of good.
Bottom of
right
good.
above Aragorn 2.
Right above Aragorn too.
I'd say a little below alerts, but good.
Okay, so we got 2 for
Yeah,
good.
I think also around Lutz, between Lutz and Bard, like Eoma with Relic can pack quite a punch.
Okay. All right. Jax.
Good.
Perfect. G Unit.
Agree.
Perfect. Okay. Next up, Galadriel.
For me, top of good. She has a lot going for her.
I agree.
Yeah.
She has quite decent damage. Like, and you can
Yes.
build her more damage. You can build a more tank or more healing style. She has one of the best madness skills in the game.
Yeah.
Which
Yep.
means she can actually,
Yep.
if you play her right, she can counter specific commanders.
Yep.
Her relic is quite good, so she can be played tank.
Yep.
Like she's a very good. Let's say.
I would say she might
jack of
not
all
be
trades.
meta right
You
now.
can do everything, but you can't do everything best.
She might not
I
be
would just
meta
make
right
the
now,
argument-
but she has one of the best. If you're gonna invest in somebody, she has one of the best kits, the most complete kits in the game.
True. All
I would
skills
make
are
the
useful.
argument that as Bjorn drops down the tiers, Galadriel also should drop down the tiers, considering the main pro of Galadriel was that if you were slower than a Bjorn, you would have the ability to steal steal Bjorn's round 4, which is essentially stealing White Council, so that you were able to, if you run a Bjorn Galadriel, you run a fast Bjorn and you run a slow Galadriel, and then one of the two probably is going to madness the enemy Bjorn. As
What-
Bjorns are going to fade due to evasion, I think Galadriel's madness is not nearly as good as it was prior,
Okay.
because that's the main thing you're
She still
targeting with
hits
it.
Dane. She still hits Dane's R3 and R6 rounds, right? So those are
It
that's
depends
still
on
very
speed,
painful.
right?
Yeah, you have to. That's the thing. You do it now. You have to adapt to the meta. You have to build a bit more speed to be faster than Dane.
But
Yeah.
if
Slower
you
than
start
Bjorn.
building speed to counter, say, a half agility Dane on Ram Riders, you suddenly could be slower, or you could be faster than a Bjorn that's running Guardian. So now you're in a catch-22 on speed. If you do end up hitting Bjorns and you're faster than them, then you're missing a chance to essentially win the battle in round 4 by stealing Bjorn's nuke.
I'll go. So see here. I'll close on this. I'll go by the king of Galadriel, which we all know, or most of us will know, is Vessi. Vessi has his Galadriel optimized to the T, and he hardly ever loses, even in the new meta. He struggles versus like 1 or 2 formations, but his Galadriel build just destroys everything. So she,
And Dusty's also never fought a high Zenith Scowhelm.
I think he has.
Again, but again.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. She might not
I'm
be.
gonna go with Tip on that one.
She might not be meta, but I do think she is at the top of the good, for sure.
I think lower at a good.
I
I would put in usable.
It's really
no,
good.
no way. She needs high. Like, remember, we're not talking about how much investment she needs, but at the prime of her build, she has damage, she has madness, she has increase of defense on her and another units, she has cleanse, and she has a good healing. Right?
Good heal. Vessi is pulling 50k heals from her alone every fight.
Yeah.
50k.
But now you're talking about needing a max refined relic for
Well,
her to do
yes.
healing.
Yes.
So I mean, comparing like like a Undying that you can use at R10. I mean, if you want to start talking about Undying's relic at 30% madness every round,
Mm-hmm.
That's discussion for a different type of
To
different
go
day,
more in
right?
depth, yeah. But that's what we're saying.
If you can optimize this commander and you can have it exactly how it should, what is its ranking? That's where we're coming
Exactly.
from.
That's why
trying to
she's
compare
definitely at the
apples
top.
oranges situation happens.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why she's not ranked close to Undying, but she has one of the best well-rounded kits now because everything works in her favor. Right? It's not like, for example, let's use one example here. You got Bjorn in the meta right now or let's use Dane, which is even worse. Dane if once you get to Z10, those extra 5 points either are gonna go to your bloodline skill, or your useless small units attack skill, right? So Galadriel has.
You get 5 defense.
Sorry.
You get 5 defense. It's not completely useless.
Yeah, but compare that to a Z, to a Z 10 Galadriel, where everything just works in her favor. Every skill point you add to her after, it gives her a little bit extra improvement on the kit that you most likely will play with her. Just like Gandalf the White. Gandalf the White as Z10 gives you 3 full trees, and then gives you a level 5. The White, which is also nice.
At the same time, White does that, Sauron does that, Skullhelm does that.
Exactly. That's why I'm not arguing that she's.
Saruman does that, and all of those would be higher and probably better or equal to a high investment Galadriel at a lot lower of an investment level.
Yeah, of course, but that's why she's not at the level of meta. That's why I think she is in a good position at the good level. Right?
Next.
So, ooh, we got the bad boy Gil-galad. Where does he sit?
Meta.
Where in meta, though?
The back.
It's gonna be in the backside. I still think lower than Undying because of Undying's relic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Except against Saruman again, because when Saruman's there, it's Gil-galad is better. I think that space where you put him now is pretty good. He's valuable. If you don't have Undying, Gil-galad is probably the best next choice to take. Big caveat, of course, you are forced to take elves.
Yeah.
Elves are squishiest units in the game, sort of. So at least you can take the Bone Knights, but they're expensive. So you don't have much choice in units. Undying gives you choice. So.
Yep, that is true. Which, the others don't. All right. Isildur. Where would you guys sit Isildur? I don't know. Yeah, he's definitely usable, but where?
As the owner of a Z8 Isildur, he is in the trash category.
Oh, no.
Hey, I have a Z11. I think he's usable, but he's not good. Like, he's just mid-usable.
I got 5-6 commanders I would use. Give me a Frodo and Sam all day before I get a Isildur.
I know, but that's what I was saying. We're not saying that Frodo and Sam, we're not putting him up there, but saying that he's completely trash. There's no way, man.
I would not use Isildur in any of my first 4 teams.
Yeah.
All right, so
I myself think he's more usable than Frodo and Sam because he just does.
Yeah.
He does more. He's tanky, but he also does some damage. Like I just put in PvE some sharpshooters on him. He was the only commander on my team who didn't die. He lost about 20% of sharpshooters and did 60 to 90k damage. What's bad about that?
No, I pull like some average around 80k damage with him on my troop formation.
All right. Okay, so let's take a quick vote here.
Not building tank, and he still doesn't die. Like he doesn't need tank units to survive.
That's fine.
It's ridiculous.
Let's do it.
So if you put sharpshooters on him, then what's the real utility of the evasion? Though you're saying, he doesn't die, but then you're allowing the rest of your formation to die.
All right, so Harb, you put him at trash. Jax, where would you put him?
Behind Witch King.
Behind Witch King. Okay. Fen.
Mid of usable.
Mid of usable. G unit.
Bottom of usable.
And Najay.
I think I'd also put behind Witch King.
Okay, so let's do this. We'll go about this section right here because we're not really trying. Not the Witch King. Where's Isildur go? Let's put him right here. There we go. My computer's glitching. Let's put him here because some of these they're not really comparing. Agzog and Aragorn damage.
He's definitely better in Baruthiel and Aragorn.
All right.
Definitely.
All right. I'm fine.
I think he's better than Baruthiel. I would agree with that.
All right, there we go.
Definitely better than those two.
Perfect. That's cool. We got him right here.
Yeah, that's good.
Next up, Gimli.
Ooh.
Here's a commander that people have been theory crafting and saying the potential is there, but oftentimes I'm not seeing that being consistent with Dane's, for example, with Dane's damage. So where would you guys sit Gimli?
So one thing that I'm seeing is where I see Gimli not performing well these people don't have a maxed relic
True.
most of the time.
True.
And he needs
was
a
gonna
maxed
say,
relic
yeah.
to get close to Dane's damage. If he does,
I
and
made a,
he's a commander compared to Dane who can use Z10, because that Z10 can give him extra damage against melee units. Tanks will always use melee units, so you will always get that bonus damage to those. I think he can be in the meta if you can max his relic.
Okay.
I've made a couple Z7, Z8 Gimlis in the last couple weeks since the update. I put him as meta. Most of those, again, had higher.
Okay, makes sense. Okay.
Oh, sorry, got muted there. Most of those had high refines on the relic. I would say you need basically to put Dane gear on him. The one counter I'll say to the melee units, yes, most people will have them. However, if you're running into a Gilgalad meta with Bow Knights, they will not.
True. True.
Tank will still.
Perfect. Okay. I guess I'm assuming Shadow's still better than Gimli, so we'll keep Gimli up here for now. All right. You agree with that, Jax? Where's Jax? He's muted. Probably doing something. All right, guys. This is the new one that, you know, a whole lot of theory crafting going on about Legolas. Who would like to
I think
start?
I've been one of the main theory crafters of Legolas because ever since I saw that skill, I was already calculating the possibilities the skill could do depending on which cooldown rounds he'd had.
Yep.
He was in the middle, of course, what I found out. And the potential he has with a max relic and everything goes, especially saying that more consistent than Gimli, can go to more damage than him. Now, in practice, we see this is not the case right now. Of course, we haven't seen, I think, a max relic either yet with all perfect stuff. And he has a problem in the current meta, being that he uses incursion. And incursion is something that gets countered by the Sauron Deceiver, but also it runs twice into the evasion, which reduces him. But what goes against it again, he has a ton more utility than Gimli. Like, I think people keep forgetting he has this minus 20% damage against enemies. He also gives his highest damage, which will probably be Dane, a minus 10% damage taken. That's quite amazing for all that.
Okay.
But in practice, I still have yet to see him really shine.
Yep. That's true. All right. Okay. Would you guys agree that he's potentially in the meta right now?
I'm a
I would
Legolas
put him in
fan.
top
I'm
of
gonna say
good.
meta.
Sorry. What did you? Who said what? In
Oh, I'm just biased towards Legolas. I'm gonna say bottom of meta.
I would say the first commander in good.
Okay.
The only caveat I would add would be, yes, he does have that 20%. However, one, isn't guaranteed to hit damage commanders, and two, the damage reduction's kind of ineffective against Dane, the same way Bard's is very ineffective against Dane because of the damage ramp up Dane has. So, I mean, it's like throwing, pennies in a fountain and expecting it to overflow.
Yeah. I see what you mean. The reason why I think Neji has a really good point here. The reason why I wouldn't put him in the meta right now is because there isn't enough testing to really justify the theory behind his potential. Then there's just a lot of
I
theory
saw
crafting
a
behind
max
it.
relic hit 140.
And Max Relic did 140.
Yeah, I mean, it can put up close to Gimli numbers. The theory crafting there is correct. It just, again, kind of like you said, if you hit evasion, you're going to lose out on damage. If you hit evasion into white counter, you're losing out on more damage. So, again, depends on what you hit. Gimli's going to be more consistent. Legolas, I think, can pump it out, but not quite as consistent, which is why I'm saying,
Perfect.
top of
Yeah.
good.
Legolas can also just destroy, like Tip said before, the trolls and Swan Knights with his basic attack.
Yeah.
Which would help kill those off a lot faster.
Yeah. Let's do this. All right. Homework for whoever runs Legolas to throw up some reports so we can fact check to see if should he be moved up to meta or should he stay in the good position?
Wow, Legolas.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
he does have that one passive, the plus 15%, I think it was, against melee units, which
Yeah.
if he ever runs into a formation like that, that formation is going to get hurt a lot.
Yep. Now, see, before we
Yeah,
just move.
that was the case with the 140 report I saw. It was a big bump.
Yeah. Now the thing is, we got Bjorn Kraken in the chat here saying, if you put Lego and Gimli there in the meta, Lurtz will be above them. So he's saying that Lurtz is stronger than both Gimli and Legolas.
Lutz doesn't have any utility, none.
Yeah, but
He
that's the
only
thing.
has
Look, in the case of a damage dealer, you know, if my main my main goal is to just pump out damage, right? So if I can get Lurtz with 2 trees doing 140, 150,000 consistently, isn't that what we would expect from a damage dealer? So wouldn't that put him above Legolas?
Not exactly. I mean, Dane's got a stun, right? Gimli doesn't have a stun, but the utility for him is the relic ignoring evasion. Lurtz doesn't have that. Gimli also has a 50% heal block, and Gimli also pumps up his own attack, which Lurtz pumps up his own attack as well, but again with only 2 damage trees.
Yeah. So I mean,
Dang,
the
only
funny
only
thing
a
is,
few
I'm
damage
seeing
trees.
consistent Lurtz doing 130, 140, 150,000. That's why I'm not gonna argue if we should move him right now, but Lurtz pumps out huge damage, only 2 trees, which is I am kind of surprised Lurtz is this low in the rank.
I mean, if you want to compare him to Bjorn, though, like G-Unit was saying earlier, Bjorn, with the right circumstances, can pump out 200k and is madness and stun immune.
Of course, but I'm not saying that he should be at Bjorn's level, but I am just personally surprised that Lurtz is this low in our ranking here, just because just seeing what people tend to show from Lurtz, he's pretty consistent in his damage output, especially if he's attacking. But
I mean, he's good. He's just not Legolas, Gimli, because they have their 3 damage trees and then relics as well.
All right.
Next.
All right, so we got 4 more to go. I mean, I'm kind of surprised we didn't put Theoden in the bad category. Does Theoden have any place right now? Sorry.
I've tried. Funny, I tried him in PvE for fun. Just like did a fun thing. I was slightly out gearing the enemy, but it sort of worked. So he could be top of bad if anything. Like he does have that bonus damage to his units, and if you put the right units on him and with the right formation on his side, he does pump out a bit of damage. But I would say there's of course a lot better alternatives.
Yeah.
But I mean, at least of one of these troop commanders, Theoden. If of all of these troop commanders, he is one of the better ones, I'd say.
So where would you guys put him? Really quick.
You're gonna have to. Okay, if you're gonna say you're making the case for Theoden to be usable, well, now you're gonna have to put Karun and Elrond.
No. I'm saying he's up there with them.
Oh, okay, that's okay. With those guys at the back.
I can agree.
He's up there.
Okay.
I can agree with Theoden being the best of the worst.
Yeah.
That sounds fine with me.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I'm happy with that. All right, guys. Next up, Khaldun. We removed him from bad. Where does he sit?
Well, if we were moving from bad, he's got to be usable.
Yeah, but where? Below or above Dwalin?
I think he's below. I think he's above shit. He's all the way up there with Agzog. He can do some damage.
Really?
Agree.
Oh yeah, he can do some damage, bro. If you put him in the right situation with the right stuff, he can do some damage.
So
I don't know about
bad.
above Agzog. I was saying Agzog, or whatever the fuck.
Oh, Azog. Right here.
It's hard to keep up. They all got the same name. They all look the same.
There you go. Right here. Okay. That makes sense.
I'm gonna side with Jax on this one. I use him to sweep, put him in usable.
Perfect. All right, guys. Next up, then, to close the last two, Thranduil. We removed him from bad. Where does he sit? Where in usable does he sit? With his healing, right? From
category.
Probably above Radagast.
Really?
Oh no.
You just haven't met the right one. I'm telling you, run into some of these cats out here playing with him, and this formation they put together is quite unique.
I mean,
I'm telling
Affliction
you,
has him what? Z8, Z9, and Cleason's
one of 'em.
Radagast didn't do well, or his Thranduil didn't do well at all in PBE.
Mm.
I remember before PPE, Vessi used the formation with Thranduil, Radagast, Zirdan, and I think Gimli.
Yeah, that's
And
the one.
he was interesting. So he puts a little the damage, he does healing, he does all of it. He's not great at it, but he can do it. So he's usable if you put him together with these kind of things. So you have to have like, a healing comp, which does a bit of damage.
I mean, so you're gonna invest in a T3, so he's bad, like below average.
I wouldn't invest in him, but you might get him, and I mean he's already usable at R2, right? So
I think he's good.
I feel in a heartbeat over him.
Yeah, of course.
Yes,
I think
definitely.
he's all right there, but whatever.
All right. All right. Last but not least, or I guess to some point, actually, it is. Aragorn, King of Men.
Somewhere in the good tier.
So above.
Honestly, just to piss Finn off specifically, go ahead and put him down there with Thranduil.
What? Nah, he's somewhere in the good tier. I don't know where.
He has 4 usable skills.
Yeah.
All 4. With Z10, you can do something interesting with him. You can make him more support with damage on the side.
Right.
And I think I still have to see this because people want to try this. But I think that's maybe his place now. I think he goes more into a support DD role.
Yeah. Yeah.
And once people find out how to use that, I think he fits in there.
Yeah, me too. So we don't have time to do the relics today because the show ran way longer than it was supposed to, and it always does when we do tier lists. If you've seen any of the tier lists over the last 2 or 3 years, the longest being the original one, which was somewhere around 8 hours with like 15 people.
I remember that.
You guys remember
I
that?
don't know if any of y'all seen it,
I
but
sat here at 3 a.m. thinking, oh fuck.
you can go back. You can go back and watch it from 3 years ago if you can find it. It's like 15 motherfucking people voting on every commander, and it was a straight clown fiesta. All right, it turned into a straight clown fiesta at the end. It's quite funny because people are just like falling asleep or drunk or waking the dude up or pissed off. It's just crazy.
Yep. It was
so we'll
crazy.
do relics next week, I think, fellow.
Yep. Relics is the way. Guys, by the way, I'm gonna save the screenshot, put it in the community there. And I hope you guys do, if you guys don't agree with some of these positionings, that's fine. I want to see you guys bring those reports into the Discord servers and say, I don't think Bard is this high, or I don't think he should be this low, or Falcon, or whoever you're going to make your argument for. I have reports that show how good Sestaro is doing, or how good Baruthio, or how bad Baruthio is doing, because although we keep saying there isn't a lot of theory crafting in the game, there still is. It's how you place that commander in a certain formation, and in the best position possible. How much does he bring to the table, right? For example, I just got a report from my good friend Yoamir, and he's showing me a report of an Elrond doing 116,000 damage with his troops.
Yeah, Elrond can do.
Right.
I've seen it, and I'm sure some of these.
It's the March Warden versus a group.
Yeah.
So
none of all of this is subjective, people.
Of course it is, but now it's like you're saying
what they're saying.
The argument is not supposed to be. The argument is not to try to make every commander in the meta, because the devs haven't really done that for us. But we're according to our votes here, Elrond is in the bad category, and for me, a bad commander will never do 130,000 damage with his troops versus another big player. Never.
I think the first
one thing about that. If you're running Elrond to do 130 with March Wardens, you're losing out on crowd control. You're forced to play Loth. You're forced to have T4, which are super expensive. I mean, it's the same issue as Karoon, right? Karoon could be maybe playable relying on stuns and chariots, but then you're forced into Rune and all of the other limitations
Yeah.
that are associated with
Yeah, but
that.
I mean, I'm not sure here if the reason why he did this well was because of March Wardens. This report's showing that he's running March Wardens, but he can come back and show a report with sharpshooters doing 105,000. The idea for me is not to say, you know, this guy is bad and here's why. It's just, you know, like should Kirun be that low? Should Elrond be that low? I love to see the community bringing back their builds and saying, look, I think you guys, I think we should place Elrond higher because he is consistently doing well in these situations. So that's my entire point. All right. So we'll close on this. All right. I got a lot of DMs now to check with reports and stuff. But guys, I want to thank all of our guests today. We got Scar is back in the house. I want to thank Najay for hopping on, G Unit, Harb, Lonely, Jax, always with me here. Scar, Lonely, Tip, Turgon. Did I miss anybody? You know, and Fen who already dropped off. So I want to thank all you guys for making the time. And Harb, yes, for all you guys making the time today.
Hey,
Go ahead, Jax.
Jax, I'd be amiss if I didn't say hi from Darth Malik for you.
Oh yeah, old pirate. Yeah, I remember him. Man,
old pirate guy.
He played in that fucking that shit show fucking First War of the Rings 7v1 Good v Evil. That was I think he was there with us then. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he was. He dodged my server to go in there with y'all, and then he was like, "This is honestly worse. The gangbang's so bad."
Oh, it was. I don't know if it was the worst one out of the some 30 that they had, but it was definitely 7 or 8v1, and we ended up with just one territory at the end. It was nuts, bro. It was bad.
That's how all War of the Rings went, unfortunately, for evil.
For evil side, yeah.
Oh, bad.
What do you guys? What's your guys' plan for this weekend?
Good question.
What are you gonna do?
I got homecoming for my alma mater. I'm gonna go get absolutely blackout drunk and watch some football.
Nice.
Right.
Can't beat it.
And also, I was told to say hello to Kinsey for one of my members.
Okay.
Perfect.
Kinsey.
Aw, hi, Kenzie.
Fellow.
What's up?
G-Unit, what are you doing this weekend?
I have a football tournament tomorrow, so I'm excited for that, and then just some shopping, maybe answer some emails, you know, nothing too exciting.
What position do you play?
I play as a striker currently.
What? Okay, I hear you.
Nice.
All right.
Scoring all the goals.
All right. What are you doing? What are you doing, Scar, this weekend?
I'm hopefully getting over this sickness. I've had a fever all week, so
Wow.
finally feeling a little bit better. And then if I do feel better, I really want to get my hair done.
Nice.
Nothing exciting.
Nice. Awesome. Good stuff. How about you, Jax?
Sailing Sundays, baby. Malibu Pier.
Nice.
Anchoring off the coast, Malibu Lagoon, going swimming.
Sometime in the future, Jackson and I are gonna be doing a live stream from Cali, and everybody's gonna see Jax live in person.
You have all y'all come visit.
Yeah,
Here all the time. Here, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Come on down.
Najay, what are you gonna do?
Oh, this weekend will be probably just a quiet weekend. Taking the time with my girl and my dog, and some chores. You know, always stuff you have to do.
Yeah.
We're now in the age where we at the age where we have to actually take more responsibility for things, so we can't always have fun.
What age is
You
that?
actually got a football team?
Yeah, the Jaguars.
For me, that's the age of 35.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you know, for men, when you get to be in these late 30s and early 40s, you really start, you gain a lot of wisdom and understanding of your place in the world and how you relate to it, what you like, what you don't like, and things all like make more sense to you in this time period. So that's good.
Yeah.
To answer your question, the Jaguars. I'm from Jacksonville, so my name that I use on pretty much everywhere and anywhere is Jax Cali, and that's because I'm from Jacksonville, original Jacksonville, and I live in California, so it's a combination of those two. So yeah, the Jaguars.
There you go.
Fair enough. Got a college team?
No college for me, just the pros.
All right.
No.
All right, but I think last but not least, Fen, what are you doing this weekend?
You think I've thought that far ahead?
I love some of these aces, guys, man.
He lives the moment. Fen lives the moment. That's
Ben,
good.
I'm getting drunk, so you're in charge of taking care of Tip and making sure he doesn't do anything destructive while I'm gone.
I'm not. I'm pretty in charge of that.
Yeah. What about you, Anthony?
Well, I am gonna be chilling. You know, you guys know I have 3 kids and a wife, so we're gonna be taking a day off tomorrow to just kind of, you know, get things done in the house, get some shopping, and then relax on Sunday. But most likely spending quite a few hours inside Discord, talking to people. Oh, so many groups to talk about theory and just the game. It's incredible. So that's gonna be my weekend for sure.
Nice.
So by the way, fellow,
Yep.
I think we have to definitely give a shout out to Denshin, the guy who actually gave us the new formulas for 2.0.
Yeah.
Like that
Huge
guy,
shout out to him.
Good stuff. We keep it going. We need that stuff.
Denshin has been a key guy for many people making stuff. You know, myself, he and I are working on some cool things related to commanders. Shout out to Denshin for all the help. He's been keen, but he's been helping everybody. He's helping in the Gores Discord. He's helped. Is helping Ombra. So he's been a huge help for everybody. So kudos and thank you to Denshin for all the help.
Yeah.
All right, guys, it's gonna be a wrap.
We'll see you soon, Denshin, once we get out of the season.
Yep. So next Friday we're doing a relics tier list breakdown, talking about stuff. All right, and we'll have some of the guests you guys are seeing here today, but also some new guests next week. All right, guys, a couple of things before we leave. Guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that like button so we can get the video, the content out to more people. And don't forget, if you are still spending in the game, don't forget to support the channel. You guys don't lose any money by using my top up link, because depending on the country, you actually save a little bit of money. But by taking the extra little step by purchasing from the store with my link, it helps me keep the content going, investing in some of the commanders to test for you guys. All right, so I appreciate it. I don't do it for that reason. You guys know, the game. It's like the game is gets huge exposure, but we do it for the love of the game. We do it for the love of the game. And come on, Jack, we've been doing this 2 years now.
Yeah, bro. We in the red, that's for sure. We definitely in the red.
We do it because we like the game, we love the community, but all the little help makes those things easier. So I appreciate if you guys can use my top up link for sure. All right, guys, have a wonderful weekend. For some of you guys, it's actually past midnight, but for you guys in the US, you guys still have a few hours to enjoy your Friday.
When you're out on the battlefield, don't get wrecked.
Exactly. All right, so you guys take care. See you guys next week for our relic tier list. Peace out, everybody.
See you guys.